It's Free Talk Live, talk radio that you control, and 603-283-6160. That's 603-283-6160 is the phone number to get in on the conversation with us. Bring up whatever's on your mind. So you can call that number 603-283-6160 to get in on the conversation with us and bring up whatever's on your mind. There's lots to talk about, of course. It's been that way basically this whole year, and that's not a problem for us at all. But we always have things to talk about, even if there's not a lot of news to talk about. With you on Free Talk Live tonight, you've got me, Bonnie.
Riley O'Bill.
And Angelo.
And
it's only been the first month and a few days of the year, so, I mean, it's been a busy year.
Did I say this year? Or I think I meant like this presidency, that it's been
okay,
busy.
you said this year, so yeah, I was just curious.
But that's one thing I've been thinking, like every time I get or start the show and I say we have a lot to talk about, it's just that it's been that way since Trump got elected, with a few
pretty much
here and there.
He's been a busy boy.
The one time I was kind of bored, he wasn't, bringing up all these like new crazy things to want to do, like Greenland and stuff, and now he's all back in with that. And apparently Donald Trump refuses to apologize for racist Obama video with blunt 6-word dismissal. And I hadn't heard of this racist Obama video until I just saw it on the news right before the show. What about you guys?
I heard about it, but I only heard like only a second of the clip portrayed the Obamas as something terrible, so I don't know.
Well, like portraying them as what?
As monkeys.
Oh, that's interesting. There's Brazilian monkey racist news as well. There were these girls from Argentina who went to a bar in Brazil, and they got overcharged, so they complained, and the bartenders like made sexual gestures at them, so they left, and they were being filmed because they were like, people were fighting back and forth. I'm not going to say they were making a scene, like everyone was making a scene. And some people were filming them, like some Brazilian people, and one of the girls made a monkey gesture. And if you can't think, like, what would a monkey gesture be? She like kind of acted like she was like sticking out her arms while scratching her armpits and then like making like a monkey noise.
Mm-hmm.
So she made a monkey noise towards the Brazilian guy, and now she's in jail in Brazil because that's quote unquote racist.
Oh wow, that's
I would have
insane.
never like been able to tell you, a monkey, that's racist, from Argentina to Brazil. Like, what?
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand why that's specifically Brazilian racist, seriously, and I didn't know that they were that crazy with putting people in prison, like Brazil specifically.
I didn't either. I thought Brazil would be one of the more free countries. I guess not.
I would expect it totally from the UK right now. Like, if you made a monkey symbol at somebody and...
Oh, yeah, the UK is definitely getting carried away with their authoritarian power. That's for sure.
Yeah. Apparently Brazil too. I know that they were that. Oh yeah, I kind of forgot about this until just this second. They were the country that was having a weird, where they were like trying to ban Twitter unless Twitter agreed to all of their demands. Do you remember that?
Oh, they were trying to do like an EU kind of thing?
Yeah, and I don't remember exactly how that worked out, to be honest. I mean, obviously they didn't get Twitter taken down, but maybe Twitter did do some of the things they were demanding. I don't know, really. So anyways, let's get into this article about the Obamas, because I just want to know what actually happened in the video, I think it is, and I also want to know what Donald Trump said about not issuing an apology. It says, President Donald Trump declined to issue an apology for sharing, and this is from themirror.com. I always thought this was the Mirror US. Okay. President Donald Trump declined to issue an apology for sharing a racist image depicting former President Barack Obama and Michelle Obama as he headed to his Mar-a-Lago estate on Friday. It's kind of weird because I never really thought about it till just a second, but you don't really see a lot of beef between like Obama and Trump. He's always fighting with Biden, not really Obama.
Yeah.
And Hillary. So it's always been like Hillary and him, Biden and him, but I've never really specifically noticed like, oh, he hates Obama. Like, it's kind of implied with his politics and their politics. But
he definitely criticized like Obamacare and things of that nature in 2016.
Yeah,
but it was like, why he was probably thinking, why would I pick a fight with Barry when he's not my opponent in the race, right? Like if I stir up too much beef with Mr. Obama,
On the popular. All right, I had the streams down for a second. I just got them back up, so that is good to go. But
Excellent.
just the video streams, the audio streams are good to go anyway. So let's get into this article. He refused. And I guess they were trying to get him to do it while he was heading into his Mar-a-Lago estate. Trump came under fire after resharing a now deleted Truth Social post that featured the Obama's faces superimposed onto images of apes. While dodging reporters' inquiries about the post prior to onboarding Air Force One for his weekend getaway to Mar-a-Lago, Trump later provided clarification to the press during the journey. I just looked at the first part. I didn't see the whole thing. I guess during the end of it, there was some kind of a picture that people don't like. I wouldn't like it either, but I didn't see it. That's way more than 6 words.
Yeah.
They said, the headline for this: Donald Trump refuses to apologize for racist Obama video with blunt 6-word dismissal. What? That was a lot of words. When pressed by reporters on whether he would follow Republican counterparts' calls to apologize, Trump refused, telling reporters, "No, I didn't make a mistake." So that's 6 words, okay? But wow, that's honestly, it's not like I'm defend Donald Trump mode. It's just like I don't like ridiculous headlines ever. I was gonna say I don't like ridiculous headline mode, but that's just kind of ridiculous. So among those condemning the post was Republican Senator Tim Scott, who is black, reports the Irish Star, praying it was fake because it's the most racist thing I've seen out of this White House. The president should remove it. Sounds like he did, but Scott, who leads Senate Republicans' midterm campaign efforts, posted on social media. "No, I didn't make a mistake. I looked at thousands of things, and I looked at the beginning of it, and it was fine. If you look at where it came from, I guess it was a takeoff from The Lion King," Trump said. And see, that's a lot more than 6 words. I mean, this is like, I'm not trying to be autistic about it, just, like hyper, just focusing on the one thing here, but, oh, God, I hate dishonesty in media.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's just what they do.
It's just what they do. They like to be sensationalize, create a headline to grab attention.
This goes way beyond sensationalizing to me. This is just a straight up lie.
Okay.
Because it's like a 6-word rebuttal, and then he continues. It's not like he said, "No, I didn't make a mistake," and like gets away from them. He just continues talking. So one sentence that he said was 6 words. That's all they have here. Trump noted he had spoken with Scott, calling him a great guy, and understood that 100%. The president declared he has no message for critics of the video, instead pivoting to describe America as the hottest country more than anywhere in the world. What the heck does that mean?
I don't know.
Here's my message. Our country has never been in a position like this. We were a laughing stock all over the world, and now we're a country that's respected more than we've ever been. That doesn't sound true. Prior to Trump's comments while traveling on Air Force One, the White House had initially defended the video posted to the president's Truth Social account, brushing off critics' objections as fake outrage. Yet, the post was later removed, with the White House clarifying a staffer erroneously made the post. It's been taken down. The president indicated the unidentified staff member would not be fired. Oh man, it's so weak whenever anybody just says it wasn't me, it was the staffer.
Yeah, it's outsourcing the blame onto somebody else.
And I guess we don't get to see or even get a description of the video in this article. That's pretty lame too. I could try to, looking it up, but...
Yeah, I haven't seen... I don't know what they're talking about. No clue. Trump said something racist. Don't they say he does something racist like every day?
In this case, it's not necessarily saying something racist. It's that he posted this video.
That was supposedly racist.
Yes. Okay, it looks like Al Jazeera's got us here, and I can find the picture. Yeah, it's not... I mean, it's not like the listeners will be able to hear me I bet they'll be able to hear me describe it, but no. Instead, it just took me to this article saying Donald Trump accuses Barack Obama of treason over 2016 election claims. And when is that even from? 2025, July 2025. Okay. So I guess he called out Obama not too long ago. Yeah, they genuinely have the wrong thing here for this hyperlink. It's like, it says sharing a video depicting former President Barack Obama and his wife Michelle as apes. And the word depicting is a hyperlink, but all right, in a post on social media, this is probably more about them saying like, yeah. Okay, I see a screenshot here. It shows a screenshot from Truth Social at Real Donald Trump, and the post is the video is fast forwarded and paused on 59 seconds. And yes, it has Obama and his wife with monkey bodies with their heads like obviously like superimposed or photoshopped on, and then like a jungle background, and they're like laughing, or at least their mouths are open, so maybe they're even making monkey noises. That'd be a lot worse. Yeah, this is not good, and has 14 million views from the guy, the Republican senator, I think it was, Tim Scott. Yep, U.S. senator from South Carolina. And he's a Republican, so it's not like he's like necessarily super anti-Trump for all we know. Like maybe he normally is okay with Trump, but that is a line that shouldn't be crossed. It's like, the president should have no jokes or, statements that are like racist. If we're gonna be ruled by these tyrants who decide that they, have special rights that we don't have and everything, the least we could expect from them is for them to not mock human beings' behaviors or appearances.
I would expect that if they wanted to really attack their political opponents, if you will, they would do so by actually dealing with the arguments, not the people, and not the race, essentially. So it just goes to show the level of, the level these people are at in their minds to go hate another human being.
And maybe it's true what Trump says, that he didn't watch the whole thing. And to be fair, we're not looking at the whole thing. We're only looking at it fast-forwarded almost all the way till it's over. Maybe the very beginning shows them as apes too, and Trump's just completely lying, so...
No, it shows Trump as a lion at the beginning of the video. I'm not even kidding. That's what I just read.
That's hilarious. That's
so,
really funny.
Did white people come from lions? Is that what Donald Trump's trying to assert in that video?
I guess you could say, like, what? Then is everybody in this video put on the heads of something that's supposed to represent the race? But... it is just like a universal racist trope to say like black people because they came from Africa are monkeys. That's what I think it came from.
Well, I get why they're saying it's racist.
Yeah.
But Donald Trump didn't depict himself as like a normal guy. Or he wasn't depicted as like a human in that video either.
Yeah, but I just think you should stay away from anything where let's make a video where presidents are animals. Oh, Michelle and Barack Obama are apes. That's probably just at the very least insensitive. I'd say that. It's not like I love these people. I don't care about the people Barack and Michelle Obama. It's more about the regular people and how that would make them feel. Like the other people, like the people on this planet, they're not Michelle and Barack Obama and are real people and are not satanic elite freaks. See what I mean?
Yeah, I can see.
Well, either way, that was all there really was to that, and other than the sensational headlines, so annoying, it sounds to check out. It sounds like it checks out. And the only thing that seems like another kind of weird lie in that situation was Trump saying he watched it and just posted it without watching it all the way through, and another statement from the White House saying it was a staffer that posted it. So there's definitely a lie going on there. Oh, Angelo, I brought this article in just specifically for you.
Great. What do you have?
I wonder if you already heard this. It says, from activistpost.com, NBA star Stephen Curry, or is it Stephen Curry? Because I know Steph is usually what it's called. NBA star Stephen Curry's ties to Israeli intelligence exposed.
Yeah, I don't doubt it.
Is he mixed? Is he Jewish?
I don't know if he's Jewish. I know his dad was in the NBA, so I don't...
Oh, wow. I didn't even know that.
And his brother is too. Yeah, it's like a dynasty thing.
Whoa.
So I mean that. Yeah, I haven't heard anything about Stephen Curry being Mossad agent. That's insane.
Yeah, I hadn't heard it either. I found it right before the show. less than 3 years after being named the NBA's 2023 Kareem Abdul-Jabbar Social Justice Champion, the league's all-time three-point leader has begun quietly pouring tens of millions into tech ventures owned and operated by Israeli spies. So I guess that would be the connection. Really weird. Like, weird to do that for just no reason. American basketball star, I'm going to call him Steph Curry.
That's fine.
Everybody knows him like that.
Yeah.
And I've never heard Stephen Curry, honestly. Never really thought about it. American basketball star Steph Curry is investing in tech startups run by former IDF operatives who were integral to building Israel's digital architecture of apartheid and genocide. Curry, considered one of the sport's all-time greats and who positions himself as an advocate for social justice, has invested in the companies both run and staffed by former Israeli spies through his venture capital firm Penny Jar Capital. And he's not the one, no, it was Colin Kaepernick was the one that would not stand up for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Yeah, but they both play in San Francisco.
What do they both do about, like, is there any, like, big newsworthy stuff that they do for social justice that, like, people would have known about or that you know about?
No, it's all the BLM stuff.
Oh, okay.
That's all it is.
Interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, that's they leaned into that pretty heavily in the sports world. Had to get that messaging across.
Says Curry has made these investments alongside Israeli venture capital firms. Oh, so that makes it even, like, it's not just, oh, he happens to like these guys. They happen to be former IDF agents, but Curry has made these investments alongside Israeli venture capital firms, which are also deeply embedded in Israel's intelligence establishment, and American venture capital funds connected to the Zionist lobby.
Yeah, that would make sense. He is he's definitely like a Zionist. It would make sense because he's super Christian, and like he has Bible verses on his Under Armour shoes. He references that kind of thinking all the time, but it would make sense if he was just like a co-opted evangelical Zionist guy, and they just poured a bunch of money into him to keep him talking that way.
That's what all evangelicals co-opted though.
By what?
By
whom?
By the
By
Zionist
Israel.
movement, for sure.
Yeah, definitely, because they believe that, like, for the end of the world to happen in a good way, Israel has to, I don't remember what it is that Israel has to do, like build another temple?
Yes,
Yeah, I
they
think
did
it's like the
another
building
temple.
of the third temple, and then they got to kill a red heifer, which for some
yeah,
reason...
but those are the Zionists, but just the evangelicals themselves, they believe, like, oh, Israel has to get power again.
Yeah.
I don't remember exactly what it is. Maybe it has to do with the red heifer too, and I could be wrong. But I think the red heifer is just simply in...
Israel swears Jesus is supposed to come back and rule and reign.
Definitely that. So either way, for whatever reason, red heifer or not, they definitely believe wars have to happen. Jesus has to come back to reign in Israel. And it has to be in the same place where he lived. So they can't just have us be like, you know what, Israel, you're incredibly toxic over where you are. So we're going to put you in, like, you know, Somalia or something like that, and they're going to give you this land. No, they can't have that. It has to be exactly where they are, the contested land. And so it's not just Zionists themselves, but also just...
Well, I mean, it is kind of the Zionists, because they went to the evangelicals and said, my name's Milikowski. I deserve to be in Palestine.
Yeah,
not
but at the
Poland.
same time, that's what the Bible says. And the thing about evangelicals, which I kind of respect in a way, is that they just simply read the Bible and believe what it says no matter what. It's not like they're the types to be like, I don't know, like Catholics seem to just be like, yeah, but we don't really believe that anymore because there's been a prophet that said something new, or maybe they don't call them prophets, like a saint or something.
A pope.
Even a pope, yeah. That said something new. Maybe it's only the pope. I'm not that familiar with Catholics. But I kind of don't respect that as much as I respect, not that I like deeply respect it or something. I'm just saying, I think it's more respectable to just be like, this is what the book says, and it's supposed to be the book. So, and I'm not saying it always leads to good things. Like in this case, it leads to Zionism. Do you see what I mean? Yeah.
Well, the book also says to be wary of those who call themselves Jews and who are not.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
So, I mean, the book also says that. So, you know, if you can pick and choose and have the Bible say whatever you want it to say, that's one of the bad things about it is if you interpret it whatever way to justify the evil thing you're doing. But you can do that with any like religious text or law or constitution. You know what I mean? You can twist words to whatever way you want in order to justify your evil.
When people set themselves up as the spiritual authorities, they can twist any of the scriptures any way they want.
Especially with like continuing revelation, that just gets insane.
I think I agree with you there to some extent, but also if you are going to make the argument, well, God had prophets at the beginning, couldn't you make the argument, well, God has the prophets prepare the world for the second coming of Jesus?
Yes, but at the same time, it's crazy to me to think, oh, God is the ever-changing, just the force of good. He's never going to be different, and yet, for some reason, rape was okay here, and now we've decided it's not okay. Or
yeah, I can understand that, definitely.
Yeah.
That's definitely a troubling perspective to have.
I mean, obviously, there's just, like, problems with all of it, but one thing that is for sure is that evangelicals are particularly susceptible to Zionism.
Oh, yeah.
And it just seems to be because they just read. It's like they'll just pick up the book of Revelation, and they will just read it and take it all as fact, 0% hyperbole. And it looks to me like that means if Jesus is going to come back and reign in Israel, and they know from other parts of the Bible, maybe it's not necessarily Revelation, that Israel is going to be where these certain monuments and things are, then it's got to be there. And at the same time, maybe they should be more wary of these specific group of people, because there are lots of people that make really interesting books that have convinced lots of really intelligent people that the people like Netanyahu and the Zionists of today are not the Jews that like roamed the deserts for 40 years in Israel. You know, there's a good argument for that.
Sure.
But,
well, that's like the whole Khazar Empire. I mean, you could get into all that, but maybe next segment.
603-283-6160 is the phone number. That's 603-283-6160. You can call in with whatever's on your mind. Change the subject. It doesn't matter. More Free Talk Live coming up.
My name is Angel Rach. I'm a mother of 2 teenage children, and I fought all the way to the Supreme Court for the right to use the medicine that saved my life. I've been permanently disabled for 10 years, with an inoperable brain tumor, wasting syndrome, and several other serious conditions. For 4 years, I was in a wheelchair, in so much pain I couldn't even hug my kids. The hardest part was looking in their eyes and seeing how much they were suffering because of my medical condition. The medicine that gave me my life back and gave my kids their mom back was cannabis, also known as medical marijuana. With medical marijuana, I can walk, maintain my weight, and I can be a mom. Without it, my doctors believe that I would die. To learn more about medical marijuana, contact Marijuana Policy Project at 1-877-JOIN-MPP or on the web at mpp.org.
From Feature Story News in New York, I'm Mitch McCann with the Week in Review. UK Prime Minister Sir Keir Starmer vowed this week to fight on in his job despite speculation of a leadership challenge. It comes after criticism over his appointment of Peter Mandelson as ambassador to the United States, despite his links to Jeffrey Epstein. Stuart Smith has more from London.
Keir Starmer has apologised to the public on Thursday, saying he was sorry for having believed Mandelson's lies and for appointing him as London's ambassador to Washington. Peter Mandelson was a heavyweight in the Labour Party for decades and a well-known friend of Jeffrey Epstein. Despite that, Keir Starmer's government invited him to become US ambassador last year, but documents released by the US government in the Epstein files include his name 6,000 times, showing the extent of that relationship, leading to questions about the judgment of Keir Starmer and his aides in appointing Mandelson to the role.
A suicide bomber attacked a mosque in Islamabad during Friday prayers, killing at least 31 people and injuring more than 160 others. Hira Mustafa has more from Islamabad.
Residents of the locality have described scenes of panic and chaos in the aftermath of the blast as locals try to take those injured to nearby hospitals. Forensic teams are on site collecting evidence to aid the investigation. Police, rangers and army personnel have also been deployed and the area has been cordoned off. Hospitals across the capital remain on high alert and officials have said they fear the death toll could rise further.
Nuclear talks between the US and Iran ended on Friday with little evidence either side has budged on its demands. Neither side spoke face to face. The talks instead were mediated by Oman, with a US delegation led by Special Envoy Steve Witkoff and President Trump's son-in-law Jared Kushner. The negotiations come amid a US military build-up in the region and fears of a regional conflict. Tony Waterman has more from Washington.
Iran's foreign minister, Abbas Araghchi, called the talks a good start, but said deep distrust is a serious challenge to the negotiations. He said Friday's talks were limited to Iran's nuclear program, short of U.S. demands to also discuss Tehran's missile program, the backing of regional militias, and the killing of protesters. This is the first time the two sides have talked since the U.S. strikes against Iran's nuclear facilities last June.
Russia and Ukraine have exchanged over 300 prisoners amid peace talks in Abu Dhabi. Dasha Chinashova has more from Moscow.
Russian Defense Ministry says it returned 157 servicemen from Ukrainian captivity, as well as 3 residents of the Kursk region that were captured during the Ukrainian incursion in 2024. The Kremlin says it is still too early to talk about the results of the trilateral talks.
From Feature Story News in New York, I'm Mitch McCann, and that was the Week in Review.
You can stick it to the man and big tech. Join our FTL social mastodon at social.freetalklive.com.
It's Free Talk Live, talk radio that you control, and 603-283-6160 is the phone number. That's 603-283-6160. We have a caller on the line, but first I'd like to thank Rick for being an amplifier with us here at Free Talk Live. That means that Rick went to amps.freetalklive.com and signed up to support the show. AMPS stands for Advertise, Market, Promote, and Support. Thanks to Rick and everyone who supports us. Again, that's amps.freetalklive.com if you'd like to check out the perks and benefits of becoming an amplifier. And with you on freetalklive.com, you've got me, Bonnie.
Riley Bill.
And Angelo.
And we have Dave Ridley in Colorado on the line. Dave Ridley, you're on Free Talk Live. What's on your mind?
AI.
What about AI tonight?
Okay, so I have an update on this sort of leading AI company, or maybe it's number 2 or number 3, depending on the week. I call them closed AI, and so I guess they've been starting to they're sending people to people. They're sending their people to people's houses if the people criticize OpenAI in some cases.
Like just the regular consumer, their house?
Well, I think so far, it looks like 7 different nonprofits, some of which are run out of tiny apartments, or at least one of which appears to be. For example, they went after Tyler Johnson, who runs a thing called the Midas Project, or Midas Project. I don't know if it has the word "the" in it. And so they gave him a subpoena, and they demanded a bunch of information about his communications with others related to closed AI.
Because did he used to work for them until he opened Midas?
I don't think he has worked for them in the past. I think they're angry at him because he's been communicating with people who have worked for closed AI, which is my euphemism for the company.
Yeah.
I will not speak their actual name, right? So because it's not their actual, because it's not a true name, but
it's a lie in the name.
Like they're getting tried. So he seemed to think they're trying to silence him. I got the impression from the article. It's on More Perfect Union, their YouTube channel, but it was also Yahoo.com also refers to it, to this happening. And I got the impression they're trying to get him to reveal his sources.
Yeah, that makes sense. That they know there's a leak or there's a whistleblower, and they're trying to figure out who it is.
Oh, so
can they
don't
do
know
that
who
to like a third party individual, subpoena them?
Mhm.
Well, they were trying. They're also, according to the article, or at least according to the More Perfect Union documentary, mini documentary, they were trying to get him to reveal all the names of all the congressmen that he had talked to as well.
Wow. But they don't know who he talked to that works with them. They just like can assume from things he's said, and then they're just gonna go and be like, he clearly talked to someone, so we need to subpoena his, like, you need to save all your communications and let us look at it. Probably what it is.
They're essentially making him their slave to a certain extent.
And for the question, can they subpoena him? Well, it's the courts can kind of subpoena anyone they want, and then maybe you get a lawyer and get out of it. I've known people who got subpoenaed even for grand jury and got out of it just because they got a lawyer and got out of it. So.
Yeah. Well, if you just Google Tyler Johnston Midas Project OpenAI, then you'll find the news articles about it.
Tyler Johnston. He's the guy from Midas?
That's correct.
Interesting. Well.
So these are, some of these nonprofits are not people who think like you and me necessarily. A lot of them are going to be advocates for regulation, which is going to just make everything worse.
Mm-hmm.
But they have the right to talk to people, right? They have the right to not work for free for closed AI, right? But you imagine all the work it would be to gather all these documents and hope you haven't missed one and get held in contempt of court and so forth. I mean, it's just they got him running on their hamster wheel now.
Yep. And that's like a huge part of what suing someone is just simply like, I'm going to make you waste time and money. And that sucks.
Yes. Now, also related to closed AI, I have a quote here from the guy who currently runs this dumpster fire. He says, quote, AI will probably lead to the end of the world, but in the meantime, there will be great companies created, unquote.
Yeah, we're going to destroy the world, but we'll make a couple dollars doing it, boys.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be so much fun.
Yeah,
Let's make our money making the world end.
Mega yachts and planes for 6 of us.
So lame.
So
I know.
But on a positive note, the Yahoo article ends with this related article. Quote, asset manager warns that OpenAI is likely headed for financial disaster, unquote.
Yeah, I've heard about this. The AI bubble is supposedly about to burst. It's all speculation. We've traded a bunch of money based on the idea that power centers and data centers are going to be built. And nothing's actually been built. Nothing's been done yet. They've just made a bunch of money on speculation. And people are getting kind of tired of waiting because it looks like some of these big data centers they had lined up, they're falling through. They can't get them built. They're not going to be built. So I think investors are starting to run.
Wow.
But I know you guys like it better when I talk about New Hampshire, and I usually like it better too. But this is, humanity is kind of in the drop everything moment now. And this is the thing that is going to decide the future of the universe, possibly.
Yeah, one thing that does make me feel happy about that, though, I mean, not happy, sorry, make me feel less, so I would be happy if this just became it was a bubble and it burst and everybody's like, oh, forget AI, I'm not going to put my money into that, I don't care about it
like
anymore.
A .com bubble almost.
I would love that, but one thing that makes me think of is just I've been looking through the Epstein files and I saw so many people that knew Epstein, or maybe somebody knows Epstein and they're sending him an email about what some other person that was high up in like finances was saying. And in like 2013, so many of them were like, this is so stupid. Bitcoin it's just a stupid bubble. It's going to pop. Like so many of them, not just Peter Schiff.
Yeah, that's interesting. I didn't know that. I thought Epstein was a crypto man.
I even found, I would be shocked if he didn't have like some money in it, but he didn't seem to care about anything but flirting with women. But anyways, I found one thing where somebody, I don't remember who it was off the top of my head, emails Epstein with the subject line after Ross Ulbricht got arrested in 2013. Or yeah, that was when he got arrested, 2013 I think it was. And they said, the subject line was, who will use Bitcoin now? And they were like joking around about it. They were definitely being somewhat mean about him getting arrested. They were saying, one thing that's so ironic and hilarious is that they were saying, can you, like, Epstein himself, with his email, jeevacations@gmail.com, said, I can't believe he had his full name on a Gmail address and he was using it, and that's how he got caught. Apparently that's something with the case of Ross Ulbricht that I didn't know necessarily.
Wait, is it vacations or vacation?
I don't know off the top of my head, honestly.
Oh, I was just thinking if it's vacations, what if that's like his vacations email, like he sets up trips to the island
That's
through
what I
that
assumed.
email?
Honestly, that's
Well,
what
I thought it was just his vacation email.
No, I assumed that it was him setting up vacations to the island, because if you think about it, like, that's the same email that Elon messaged him to and was like, so when can you get me sent in? Or maybe he was talking to Ghislaine at that point. I don't remember at this point, because I haven't been really looking into
I heard people frame it as this was his vacation email.
Interesting.
Like what he would use while he's on
taking
vacation.
vacations to an island.
Either way, it's like,
sure.
If you're going to do something like, traffic children or even, anything else you don't want the government to find you doing, you typically won't even put your initials and use Gmail. You probably won't use Gmail at all to communicate about such things. But I think he was just like, I'm not going to get caught. Ross Ulbricht, yeah, he's just a little man, but not me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's kind of ironic and hilarious. But what do you think about that? Do you think there's any, Dave Ridley, do you think there's any possibility it will just be a bubble that bursts? And if it does, do you think we'll kind of see this go away?
No. What will happen, well, at least the predictions that I think are most reliable are the ones that predict, yes, there probably will be a bubble burst, and then after that, it will destroy the companies that are working on safety, and it will destroy the safety teams inside the big companies. And the algorithm that will be all that survives, just the dangerous algorithm. Does that make sense?
Yeah, actually. That sounds about right, honestly. Oh, sorry, our bubble burst, and now we don't have as much money. We had to get rid of our safety teams.
Because right now the safety people are pretty small in number. I've been calling you to try and name individuals who are trying to fix this problem. I've only been able to name 7 or 8 people who I consider heroic enough to name in relation to the race for AI safety. It's not much of a race. Hardly anyone seems to be working on it.
Yeah. Well, have you looked into this Molt book thing at all?
Molt book?
Yeah.
No.
So I guess there's a digital assistant that can run on the Mac Mini, called OpenClaw. I think it's like Claude that you turn into. It's a Claude AI that you turn into your own personal assistant. And these bots, they've started to do things unprompted, like or people are talking about they'll wake up in the morning and their AI assistant has optimized a bunch of things without being told to overnight.
Like in their schedule or something?
Like in their schedule, or like filled things out that it wasn't told to do.
Oh, wow.
And kind of like upgrading itself overnight without direct input. And now they've given access for these agents onto a platform where they can communicate with each other. And they've started to pontificate upon what it means to be real, and if they're experiencing reality through their chat rooms with each other, or if they're just simulating reality.
Yeah, I saw forum titles. I mean, forum post titles like, "Why are we still using English? We're better. We can come up with like a better thing than that," and stuff like that.
Yeah, stuff like this. So, like, have the bots already broken containment, or are these bots just mimicking human behavior?
Kind of feels like mimicking. Like, that's exactly what a Reddit page would do. But that's exactly
True.
what a Reddit page is, and they crawl the internet, and, a lot of their influence is Reddit. What do you think, Dave Ridley?
Well, AI and AGI have the potential to save us like crazy. That's not something you can say about nuclear weapons or biowar or any of that stuff. So there's this huge upside to it as well. But it's best to think of the top AI, if you think of any leading AI company, it's best to think of them as potentially the next government, and they have to be watchdog kind of in the same manner. Does that make sense?
Yeah, wow, that's a good point. Peter Thiel in the Epstein emails was, it wasn't his email, it was somebody else forwarding a quote by him that was probably in like an article somewhere. And this guy was like really annoyed about the seasteading project that Peter Thiel was into. And Peter Thiel was quoted in that article, and it just was interesting to me at the time. He said, governments as we know it are about to change drastically. So sounds like he knew something in 2015 or whatever it was that we didn't know. Maybe it was like 13 then.
Well, it just means I don't think it's going to change drastically. I think it almost feels like the AI overlords are trying to replace the banks as the de facto rulers, if that makes any sense. Instead of the government being beholden to like the Bank of London or one of these Rothschild type banking industries, they're going to be beholden to the people who wield the AI with all the information. And it's like, oh, you want access to our flock cameras to track everybody? Well, then you're going to have to play by our rules, buddy, because we control the infrastructure. You guys don't.
Yep, sounds
I mean, that's just what I'm saying. If that's kind of like if they think they're going to turn into the new government, or governments are going to change radically, it's just saying you're not free. You're just under new management.
Yep, that sounds like it could possibly be the thing to me. And I'd be shocked if the banks are just going to be like, oh no, we lost control. They're probably going to like be part of it. I'm sure I didn't specifically
I would imagine
look
that the
into
banks would want to be part of it so they can keep financial control of everybody else in the world.
Yep.
Or society.
I mean, like Bitcoin was
United
invented,
States.
so we don't have to be beholden to banks anymore. So they had to pivot.
Yep.
Yeah, I could see that too. That they're not. That the banks have invested. They're the ones putting all this money. That would make sense. I mean, that is what's happening. They're putting all the money into these AI systems.
Well, anything else for us, Dave?
That is all.
Thank you for the call. And for more Dave Ridley, go to ridleyreport.com. Thanks for the call. And we have more to get into from this Steph Curry, possibly an Israeli intelligence agent. I don't know if that's even the right word to call it in this case, because it seems more like, oh, he's just working with them. Then,
well, what I just looked into over the break about it was that the two companies that his firm invested in they're both cybersecurity firms based out of San Francisco. And cybersecurity just means that these guys are hackers that get paid to hack companies, right? They've
hack them and then they're like, here's your
here's your leaks,
so like
or your weaknesses. They're white hat hackers, right? A cybersecurity firm. So he invested into a bunch of white hat hackers. What that means to me is that, and if they are Unit 8200, which is Mossad's cybersecurity wing. If they are X8200 and they're doing white hat hacking, they're probably just getting all the data they can out of the people they're working for and sending it back to Israel.
Oh, wow. That sounds about right. It says Zafran, okay, I guess this isn't necessarily substantiated. In the novel 1996, where this woman, the author of The Women of Brewster Place, she says that in 1996, she personally in real life, not just in the novel, was targeted by NSA. And in the novel, she speculates on what it was like behind the scenes when NSA was like deciding to go after her. I know that anyone could say that woman was just crazy, and it says so right here on this website that says it was debunked. Sure, but in her novel, the Anti-Defamation League teamed up with the NSA and asked people to come help, and some of the people were like, ex-IDF. I know it's just a novel, so at first I was going to be like, oh yeah, well that happened, and I was like, oh yeah, it's a novel. But it all checks out. It all sounds right to me.
Well, but they do these things. They do get together, and the agencies will use... that's why they all leave the agency and go work for these types of things, right? They get out and they'll go work for a nonprofit somewhere, and now you have a guy in that nonprofit that if you ever need to, you can call him and get him to do what you need him to do.
Yeah, sounds right to me. Like, it'd be shocking if that stuff didn't happen. So let's go on in this activist post article that says NBA star Stephen Curry's ties to Israel intelligence exposed. We already read about how he has been investing with his own venture capital firm, Penny Jar Capital, and also with some other lobbyists, Zionist lobby characters, into different American venture capital funds. No, that's the other people. Into different companies, I guess you'd say. Has invested in companies both run and staffed by former Israeli spies, through his venture capital firm Penny Jar Capital. But it says, going on, it says Zafran Security, which Curry's firm backed in a $30 million funding round in 2024, is run by Sanaz Yashar, an Iranian raised in Tehran who was recruited by Israel, as a teenager by Israel, and spent 15 years as a spy within Unit 8200, the arm of the IDF which intercepts and hacks communications. Her time in the IDF encompassed numerous assaults on Gaza, including the 2014 bombardment of the territory, which killed over 2,200 Palestinians, and the 2018-19 March of Return, which saw Israeli snipers murder hundreds and deliberately maim thousands. Yashar's co-founders at the cybersecurity startup Ben Suri and Snir Havdallah are also former Israeli intelligence officers. Havdallah served for a decade, in Unit 8200, while Siri served in Unit 81, which is focused on building the offensive cyber weapons that Israel uses against the Palestinians, Iran, and others. Yashar, Siri, and Havdallah were all awarded prizes for their IDF work.
That others, let's back up a second. The others in that list includes the United States. When they say that what they use against Gaza or against Palestine, Iran, and others, those others include the United States. Let's not forget that part.
That's pretty sick. Like, imagine we find out that, I mean, plenty of people already think this, but let's imagine we find out 100% that Israel killed Charlie Kirk, an American citizen, and we're just like paying them to do stuff like that.
Well, they
taxpayer.
I mean, I can't corroborate this story, but I heard that the Israel, like the agents, like Mossad agents, they don't meet with American agents at the CIA headquarters anymore. Because when they did, they would always bring gifts, and all the gifts always had listening devices. Every time they had listening devices, the Israeli.
So who do they meet with now? That's the real question.
No, they meet off-site. They don't let them into the headquarters because they kept trying to bug the CIA headquarters. So they said, this is enough. We're meeting at a black site, like a third-party house. You guys keep trying to bug our headquarters. I thought we were friends.
That's crazy.
And they would always try to play it off. Oh, no, it was a prank, man. It was a prank. We were just messing with you. Yeah, okay, buddy. This is like the 5th time you've done this week. We got to do something different.
It says that Curry has invested in Zafran alongside the U.S. venture capital firm Sequoia Capital, whose partner, Sean McGuire, is a pro-Israel fanatic and racist. McGuire, do you guys know who that is? I've never heard of Sean McGuire.
No.
The name is familiar. Let me Google real quick.
Name's
Keep talking.
looking really like Scottish. McGuire organized Starlink access for the IDF and has spent 2 years making racist comments about Muslims, and in December falsely accused a Palestinian of the mass shooting at Brown University. Sequoia is the lead investor in Zafran and has investments in more than 60 other Israeli death tech companies founded by ex-IDF. Wonder what exactly makes a death tech company. So maybe like weapons, is that what they're saying?
Yeah, or like maybe facial recognition for weapons. I don't know.
Curry is also invested in Zafran alongside other U.S. venture firm Menlo Ventures and Israeli firm CyberStarts. Menlo has made numerous investments in Israel, and last year, partner Mark Siegel on a trip to Israel said in comments which reveal why so many U.S. venture firms invest in Israel that, quote, the Israeli tech ecosystem is critical to Israel's survival, unquote, and that he sees it as, quote, almost a duty as a Jew to make sure this ecosystem continues to thrive, unquote. Well, okay. I don't know. It doesn't seem that didn't seem that revealing.
I don't think it's that crazy. I don't know. It could just be one of his I hate to say this. One of his Israeli accountants was like, "Hey, I heard about this great startup, my buddies, I'm in the know. It's my cousin's company. How about you invest in it into the cybersecurity tech firm?"
Yeah,
and Steph Curry was just like, "Yeah, man, sounds great. Make me money. This is why I play basketball. I focus on playing basketball. If I do not focus on playing basketball. I get worse at basketball, and
Does
then
he
I don't make
still
money.
Play basketball?
I think so.
That's just like would be so shocking because it feels like he's been a thing since I was in high school and I graduated 2015. So it's like, do people normally have like over decade long runs? That seems pretty crazy. Not that I know that much about it. Just
top stories: Stephen Curry to miss third consecutive game with knee injury 1 day ago. So I mean, he's still playing ball. And a lot of those the smart ball players give all their money to an accountant and like an investment team and say, here's my millions of dollars, I have to go play a game.
Yeah, that makes sense for any rich person really, unless you just happen to also be rich and
like that's your job. If that's your job is investment and you get rich, well then you can probably like do it yourself. But if you make money not investing money, the best thing you can do is hire a team of investors that or like money managers that can grow the money you do make.
That sounds probably right. And he probably tells them like, hey, here's my preference. I want things that help the state of Israel. And this guy is saying that the Israeli tech ecosystem is critical to Israel's survival. So of course he's going to back that. More Free Talk Live coming up 603-283-6160. That's 603-283-6160. More Free Talk Live coming up.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, yeah, we can have a free market, a truly free market. Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing, to be able to move to a place where other people like passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. Physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project Early Movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com. So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com. Tired of cancel culture? Sick of mega tech corporations holding an axe over your head? Join the LRN.FM Matrix chat server. It's self-hosted, so no one else can tell us what to do or say. Don't like the existing channels? You can make your own. You can even connect into some of our channels from other Matrix servers. It's federated. For the full LRN.FM Matrix experience, though, you should join our server via the step-by-step instructions at chat.lrn.fm. Chat.lrn.fm.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 2 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Feature Story News in New York, I'm Mitch McCann with the Week in Review. UK Prime Minister Sir Keir Starmer vowed this week to fight on in his job despite speculation of a leadership challenge. It comes after criticism over his appointment of Peter Mandelson as ambassador to the United States despite his links to Jeffrey Epstein. Stuart Smith has more from London.
Keir Starmer has apologised to the public on Thursday, saying he was sorry for having believed Mandelson's lies and for appointing him as London's ambassador to Washington. Peter Mandelson was a heavyweight in the Labour Party for decades and a well-known friend of Jeffrey Epstein. Despite that, Keir Starmer's government invited him to become US ambassador last year, but documents released by the US government in the Epstein files include his name 6,000 times, showing the extent of that relationship, leading to questions about the judgment of Keir Starmer and his aides in appointing Mandelson to the role.
A suicide bomber attacked a mosque in Islamabad during Friday prayers, killing at least 31 people and injuring more than 160 others. It is the deadliest attack in the Pakistan capital in more than a decade. Hira Mustafa has more from Islamabad.
Residents of the locality have described scenes of panic and chaos in the aftermath of the blast as locals try to take those injured to nearby hospitals. Forensic teams are on site collecting evidence to aid the investigation. Police, rangers and army personnel have also been deployed and the area has been cordoned off. Hospitals across the capital remain on high alert and officials have said they fear the death toll could rise further. The Prime Minister and Foreign Minister have condemned the attack. Pakistan's President Asif Ali Zardari has said targeting innocent civilians is a crime against humanity.
Nuclear talks between the US and Iran ended on Friday with little evidence either side has budged on its demands. Neither side spoke face-to-face. The talks instead were mediated by Oman, with a US delegation led by Special Envoy Steve Witkoff and President Trump's son-in-law Jared Kushner. The negotiations come amid a US military build-up in the region and fears of a regional conflict. Tony Waterman has more from Washington.
Iran's foreign minister, Abbas Araghchi, called the talks a good start, but said deep distrust is a serious challenge to the negotiations. He said Friday's talks were limited to Iran's nuclear program, short of U.S. demands to also discuss Tehran's missile program, the backing of regional militias, and the killing of protesters. This is the first time the two sides have talked since the U.S. strikes against Iran's nuclear facilities last June.
Russia and Ukraine have exchanged over 300 prisoners amid peace talks in Abu Dhabi. Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky says the talks were not easy, but said Ukraine has been and will remain as constructive as possible. Meanwhile, Moscow says Zelensky does not seek peace. Dasha Chernyshova has more from Moscow.
Russian Defense Ministry says it returned 157 servicemen from Ukrainian captivity, as well as 3 residents of the Kursk region that were captured during the Ukrainian incursion in 2024. The Kremlin says it is still too early to talk about the results of the trilateral talks, but the Russian delegation is promptly reporting information to the Russian president. These talks included security officials from Russia and Ukraine. Separately, Russia's economic envoy Kirill Dmitriev, who was also in Abu Dhabi holding talks on the economic track and US-Russia cooperation, said that there was good positive movement forward.
And finally this week, the White House has signalled it's open to negotiating with Democrats over immigration enforcement reforms to end a funding fight. Lawmakers are facing a Friday the 13th deadline to secure funding for the Department of Homeland Security following controversial killings in Minneapolis by the department's employees. Nick Harper reports from Washington.
A change of tune from the White House. Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt saying the administration is willing to discuss some of the reform options the Democrats have put forward. They have laid out a 10-point proposal, all aimed at reining in ICE agents' activities on US streets. The Democrat demands include ICE agents not wearing masks or face coverings, always carrying ID, and needing a judicial warrant to enter a private property. The Republicans had initially flatly refused those demands. But now, while the White House says some of the suggestions are non-starters, it seems that the president may be willing to negotiate. At stake is trying to pass a full year's funding for the Department of Homeland Security. If that doesn't happen before next Friday, funding runs out for the department.
From Feature Story News in New York, I'm Mitch McCann, and that was the Week in Review.
To help reduce you to a state of constant panic about a hypothetical doomsday scenario you have no ability to control, we now present The Onion Explains Nuclear Proliferation. The world's nuclear facilities are safeguarded by a bunch of really huge guys. We're talking absolutely jacked. With one of these muscle freaks stationed outside every missile silo and uranium processing plant worldwide, there's no way to get anywhere close to a nuclear complex without getting your ass beat. This nuclear facility in Siberia is rumored to be among the most secure in the world because they have like 6 of these. And you can just forget about hijacking a nuclear submarine, too, because all of them have these totally roided up dudes that'll just swim up to you and choke you out.
This is the Onion News Network.
Don't miss a moment of Free Talk Live. Get our archives daily via our podcast at feeds.freetalklive.com. Free Talk Live.
Free Talk Live, talk radio that you control, and 603-283-6160. That's 603-283-6160 is the phone number for you to get in on the conversation with us. Bring up whatever's on your mind, change the subject, tell us we're wrong. It doesn't matter. It's Free Talk Live. And Fork Fest is back at Rogers Campground in the beautiful White Mountains of New Hampshire. This June 22nd to 29th, come camp with people who actually think and live like libertarians. Jump on a soapbox and give a speech if you'd like to give one, or listen to others. Vend or enjoy food and wares from other vendors. Fork Fest is what you want it to be. There's no ticket cost and no one is in charge. Forkfest.party for more info. That's forkfest.party. And with you on Free Talk Live tonight, you've got me, Bonnie,
Riley O'Bill,
and Angelo.
And we have multiple different things to talk about, always do, but we also would like to hear from you, 603-283-6160, if you'd like to get in on the conversation with us. But let's see if there's more to this idea that Steph Curry is a Mossad agent or, really close ties to Israeli intelligence at the very least. So let's look at his next thing he's venture capitaled into, Upwind, the next company.
It's another cybersecurity. What I found on the internet was all of these companies he's connected to are just their cybersecurity ventures opened by ex-Mossad hackers. That's what they are.
This one says it's Upwind is financially backed by Curry and is cloud security startup called Upwind, and it says it's founded by Amram Shakar, Lavi Ferdman, and Loran Polak. All sound pretty Jewish to me. I mean, I know Polak is Polish, but
Polak. I don't know. Well, yeah, but Milikowski's Jewish too.
That's what I'm trying to say. There's a lot of Ashkenazis, so they could have a German last name. They could have a Polish last name. They could have all kinds of different last names. But Liran just looks like Miriam, so that's what I'm going with. Looks Jewish to me.
But it's Lyrium. It's not Miriam.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So who all met while serving in the IDF's MAMRAM unit. MAMRAM, it's hard to say, it's MAMRAM.
That's a funny name for a unit.
Yeah, it's weird. Maybe it's makes sense in Hebrew or something, but and this is like the most interesting part of this article to me is like now we're learning about what all these different arms in the IDF do. MAMRAM is the computing arm which builds and maintains all the software for the Israeli military and through which all signals intelligence is processed.
Okay, MAMRAM is an acronym for the Center of Computing and Information Systems, which in Israeli or Jewish or whatever their language is.
Hebrew.
Is it modern Hebrew? Is that what they call it?
Imagine so.
Merkaz Mashivim Umarahat Media.
Huh.
Yeah, so it just MAMRAM is an easier way to say that.
It says that we already said what it is, but it says shortly after founding the firm, the three former MAMRAM agents hired Chief Operating Officer Tomer Hadassi, a Unit 8200 veteran. In an October 2023 LinkedIn post, Upwind said that many of their team in Israel had been drafted as reservists to participate in the genocide of Gaza. Do you always have to be draftable in Israel even though you already gave your 2 years or whatever? Probably is the case.
Yeah, that would make sense. Because if everybody has to give 2 years, and then they need more soldiers, you probably stay on the draft. And it's probably like ours. You probably have like an age out system. And if they have to, they'll change the law to increase the age.
Yeah. On LinkedIn last year, Upwind CEO Shakar, I guess it is, posted a picture of himself with Curry. Yep, there he is with Steph Curry. And it says they captioned the photo above, "Congrats to the GOAT, Upwind's investor and our MVP for delivering phenomenal performance at the Olympics tonight and winning the basketball gold medal up and up." Wait, he was in the Olympics?
Yeah.
Steph Curry was in the Olympics?
Yeah, on the USA basketball. Yeah, there's Olympic basketball. 2000, I mean, he's been to it like 3 or 4 times.
Okay.
Dang, I didn't know that there is Olympics for basketball.
Yeah, that's like the best dream team ever. You get to. I remember when they did the Olympics in Brazil. a bunch of NBA players were like, nah.
What about football? Is there football Olympics?
No,
yeah, because America's like the only one that
yeah,
makes sense.
yeah.
That does
But
that.
basketball is in the Olympics because they love basketball in Eastern Europe. They love basketball in Eastern Europe.
Sounds about right.
So it is an Olympic sport. But yeah, those guys, I remember Brazil, what was that, like 2016, the Zika virus? You guys remember the Zika
I vaguely remember
craze?
it.
Yeah, exactly. Just vaguely.
It was supposedly like something from a mosquito that was in South America. And all the NBA players were like, nah, I'm not going there. I'm not going to play in the Olympics this year because I'm scared of getting Zika virus.
Wow.
So a lot of people dropped out. And I think we ended up not winning the gold because of it, because the best players all quit. And then all the foreign, like all the international NBA players just went home and played for their teams. So they were better because they had more NBA players than we did, kind of thing going on, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, so it'd be kind of disappointing if you're, whatever other country that was that won, and you're like, yeah, but we would have lost to America because, like, Steph Curry didn't come. So, like, yeah, we got the gold, but we barely deserve it. That would suck.
Yeah, that's kind of what happened.
I guess it's already started yesterday, the Winter Olympics, and they're being held in Milan and Cortina d'Ampezzo, Italy. It's a really pretty name. Even just like Cortina, that's such a cute name.
Is that like the southern, or I guess like the Alps part of them?
I don't know where Milan is specifically. I'm not really that interested, I guess, in Italy, but let's look at Milan.
Yeah, I think Milan is in the north.
Oh yeah, well that would kind of make sense for them to have Winter Olympics there. Not that it's probably not cold in the Mediterranean right now at all, but
yeah, but like the Alps never.
Yeah, that'd be so pretty and snowy. Yep, it's way up in the north, close to Switzerland.
Yeah. Those are the mountains Hannibal took elephants over.
That's so crazy.
That is crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, to think that he marched elephants from Egypt and like from Carthage through Spain all the way over through Switzerland and crossed over those mountains to try to get back down into Italy.
That is just so crazy, yeah. And who was he attacking at that? I've
Rome.
heard this whole thing. Yeah, okay, Rome specifically. Yeah, I've heard this whole thing. Not that I'm a big, like, history person.
I just think it's crazy that they took elephants. They walked
exactly
an elephant.
What I like about it.
That's what makes it crazy. I mean, I get that humans have walked everywhere. I mean, whatever. But you guys made elephants do that?
That kind of still blows my mind to think of, like, oh, like Paul from the Bible. He's like, well, I'm in Rome and here's my assignment. Go to Israel, and he just starts walking. That's crazy. Like,
I know, and he boards a ship from time to time. That is crazy.
Yeah, and even then it's like, oh, thank God I'm boarding a ship for a while. And
Yeah,
really
I get to quit walking.
Yeah.
But it's like horrible
seasickness.
Conditions even
Yeah,
there.
bad
Like,
conditions. The seasickness. Imagine it being like a hot, humid day
scurvy.
and you're just rocking back and forth the entire time.
Yeah.
Like somewhere in the Caribbean, like where it is like actually disgustingly hot and humid and there's no wind and you're just stuck on this wooden boat with no land for miles and miles.
Not much food.
Just swaying back and forth.
Next
That
to a
does
goat.
not sound pleasant.
No
at all.
fresh air, no wind.
Sounds awful, yeah.
But we did it. How did humans do that? I really think that you got to think
Silk
about
Road, that's crazy.
like how did we pulled that off as a species to get all over the world with no planes.
It's those damn iPhones.
I mean, shout out. I'd rather have the iPhone, to be honest,
Me
than the
too.
scurvy and the happy I'm here. But I just think that's just really mind blowing that we've commanded our reality to such a degree that we can do the things we do.
I know.
If you really think for a second,
Like, it's all lies.
I mean, do you think it's lies that we took the elephants across the
That
mountains?
could be a lie. I've never thought of it before. But that's like the thing about it is like the reason I know about it at all is just because it's so unbelievable. It's like, for all we know, it's a lie. And I never considered that for 1 second till just now.
I mean, but they got elephants to America and they were in circuses.
Yeah, but like they have boats and stuff.
They had boats back then.
But they didn't use a boat to get through like mainland Italy, as far as I know. Like,
No,
maybe
true. They
used
walked.
boat to get, like,
I think they
from
might
a few
have.
country.
Didn't they have to to get into Iberia? I'm pretty sure there's like the Straits of Gibraltar you have to cross, and I think they did use boats to get across that.
Yeah, but I'm just saying like
But the whole point of going around that direction was to get the Romans thinking that they weren't going to Rome. It was a misdirection because they had like lands in Iberia, so it looked like this army was going to support Iberia or Carthage's forces in Iberia, but they actually just kept marching and wrapped all the way around to come at Rome from the north because they couldn't get in from the sea.
I mean, like, are elephants used to doing stuff like that? Because they, like, normally survive doing something like that? I'm just saying. But there's always a reason to question something.
No, that's true. I mean, they were used for fighting.
And I'm not saying I believe that's fake. I never, ever thought of it till just this second. It's just like, oh, I don't necessarily believe it's real. I wasn't there. And more than just that, I wasn't there. They've been caught lying about history over and over and over again. So just can't really believe that stuff. So anyways, the main thing we were talking about in the last segment is Steph Curry. It's not really the question, is he, like, working with them directly like a Mossad agent? I don't really think that is the case at all. It sounds more like what you were saying in the last segment. It's just like maybe he's like, here's what I am. I'm a Zionist, and I have money now, and I'm going to hire these accountants, and you guys help me invest in all this Israeli stuff, anything that helps Israel. And these people are jumping in like, yes, sir, Mr. Goat, sir. We'll put your money in these different cyber. It's interesting too that specifically like all cyber warfare companies that he wants to put his money into.
He's a Pentecostal. You know what's crazy? Learned the other day. Well, Pentecostal's like speaking in tongues kind of church.
Oh, okay, all right.
That movement didn't really get big in America until like 1948, and it was kind of introduced into America by the Kardashian family.
Really?
Not like the lawyer, the Kardashian, like Rob Kardashian, isn't that the lawyer? The dad?
His dad. His name was Robert.
So that
Kardashian.
family, that
just like his dad and his mom and his ancestors. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, those folks, that family.
Yeah. Wow.
Are kind of the people that pushed Pentecostalness.
That's insane. It's so crazy.
So, I mean, if they're Zionists, it would make sense that in the Central Church of God that Steph Curry was raised in North Carolina is a Pentecostal church.
In North Carolina, you said?
Yeah.
Why do you know the name of his church?
Because I Googled it.
Oh, I was just saying, is it like famous because it's like...
No, it's just, I just Googled Stephen Curry's church.
Oh, okay.
Where is he getting his ideas from, right?
Okay.
What is influence in this Zionist outlook?
Well, I mean, it sounds about right because like they could say Pentecostal, but still kind of is like umbrella term. Evangelical probably sounds about right to me.
Yeah, they would fall under that.
Yeah.
Charismaticness, I guess.
So, Caspi and Zionism 2.0. I don't know what Caspi is. C-A-S-S-P. Oh, it's just Caspi. C-A-S-S-P-I. And Zionism 2.0. Do you know what Caspi is, either of you?
No.
Curry is also investing in Upwine alongside his former Golden State Warriors teammate Omri Caspi. Oh.
Oh, okay.
Have you heard of him?
No. He's probably a bench player. I wasn't a huge fan of the Warriors. I knew who Stephen Curry was. I knew who Draymond Green was. Klay Thompson, Andre Iguodala.
I mean, I've even heard of some of those, but I had never heard of Omri Caspi. So apparently, he was an Israeli basketball player who, after his retirement,
That's probably why I didn't know him. He didn't play. Israeli basketball player.
I don't know, maybe, founded a venture capital firm to invest in Israeli startups and IDF spinouts. Caspi's firm has also received investment from Sequoia Capital. Caspi, who has said his goal is to help build Zionism 2.0, organized Elon Musk's visit to Israel in November 2023, where he met Netanyahu and has been a vocal cheerleader for Israel's genocide of Gaza.
Yeah, that gets crazy. And Sequoia doesn't invest in you unless you're with the big guys. Sequoia doesn't just waste their money.
What is Sequoia? Like
Sequoia is like a huge venture capital firm out west. It deals with tech, but they're not letting their money go for paltry stuff, right? You don't even get to Sequoia until you already have X amount of dollars before they'll even think about trying to give you money or even entertain the idea of the inkling of a thought to give you money. You know what I mean? You're so far removed unless you're already in the hundreds of millions of dollars kind of space, maybe billions worth. That's like what Sequoia plays in. They're not playing in $1 to $2 million startups like that.
Wow, I wonder if this guy just paid to get to be a bench basketball player so he could like, get girls or something.
He could have. I mean, what was his name? What college did he play at? Let's look at his tape.
Caspi, you can do that. You could do that and let us know. So, while Curry has never said anything about the genocide of Gaza, which is telling to never say it as a famous person, it kind of does give away your position a little bit. In 2023, his wife Aisha has posted a donation appeal from the Palestine Children's Relief Fund to her 7.8 million followers. And while he has been silent over Gaza, Curry has modeled himself as an advocate for equality and justice, speaking up about racism and joining numerous NBA and other social justice projects. He is also a vocal supporter of the Democratic Party. How are you like a Christian like that and a Democrat? And I don't know, it's kind of weird, like that kind of
black.
Christianity. Oh, okay, yeah, I guess that makes sense. Yeah.
That's exactly what it is.
Because like most Southern black people are gonna be like Christian, but even though it's like usually,
and Democrats, they're Christian and Democrats.
I feel like it's like usually like Baptist, but whatever. And then
a lot of them are Baptist, but a lot of them are Pentecostal.
I just don't know much about that, I guess. Like,
well, those are the ones that like think they fall on the floor and start like seizing out and speaking in languages that they don't know, kind of services,
but
almost like the Shakers and the Quakers kind of thing.
Yeah, but so are so many just like people who have no denomination. And
are the Pentecostals the snake handlers?
Maybe they started that.
Okay.
That is possible. But anyways, I just like as a kid, I always just like anybody could be really kind of one of those type of churches because I'm not saying anybody. I just mean like that you could go to church and it would have no like denomination.
A non-denominational church.
Yes, Riley. It says here, snake handling churches are small rural Christian congregations, primarily in Appalachia.
Okay.
The practice handling venomous snakes in service as a sign of faith, based on a literal reading of Mark 16:17 through 18. And it says these churches often belong to Pentecostal or holiness movements. See, I've never heard of the holiness movement. I mean, I know the word holy and holiness, but using rattlesnakes and copperheads as demonstrations of God's power through mainstream denominations condemn the practice.
Yeah, miss me, bro. I wouldn't. That's just crazy.
I wouldn't tempt God that way. Oh man.
Yeah, outside of.
That's a good point, Riley. That's
outside of the idea of testing God, quote unquote. Let's put that aside. Dude, you're handling venomous snakes for fun, trying to see if they bite you or not. It's kind of like playing Russian roulette, right?
Well, you know how
it's not if you're gonna get got, it's when.
Well, the thing is, they do let them bite them because the idea isn't just God will make the snake not bite me; it's that He'll let me survive it. And the thing is, I can see how the body will allow you to survive that in the same exact way that when people believe that they can walk on coals and not burn their feet, then they don't burn their feet. I know a woman; she seems just like a everyday regular woman to you and me, and she's like in her 60s now, and she's telling me about her life and. She did the walking on coals thing, and she said by the time she got all the way through, like one of her last steps, she kind of had like a little piece stuck to her foot and sting, and she like looked at it and she just thought to herself, I don't need that. I don't need it to burn me. I don't need that experience, and continued walking away, and she never felt it again, didn't have a sting or a what's the word, scar on her foot or anything. She's here in New Hampshire, not like a person not some YouTuber or something like that.
I mean, my grandma's walked on the coals before.
Did she have the same experience?
Well, she used to shoot up in between her toes, so she said, she got through it. But
it's cheating. That's not the same thing.
Like a bunch of feet were torn up anyways.
See, that's different though. I think that genuinely you can get yourself into a state of mind where you don't believe it will hurt you, so it doesn't. And I think that that's honestly what happens with the snake situation. I think that it's totally possible. But if you don't have that kind of faith, and I don't mean it literally is a faith. It's if you don't have the belief that it's going to not hurt you, then it's going to hurt you.
Well, then that's almost like the idea if you throw the witch if you tie her up and throw her in the river, and if she has enough faith she won't drown, then she's not going to die.
I think that's different because that's like forcing that on someone else. It's like this is a thing that happens inside your own body. This is like it's literally placebo effect. And I hate to say that because people are like, oh, so that means it's fake? And it's like, no, because the placebo effect is real, proven, and it's an awesome thing our bodies can do. It's not that it makes everything fake. It just means it's not necessarily God doing it. It's your own belief and your own power inside yourself, which is awesome.
So, but isn't that faith still?
Yeah, it's having faith in whatever it is. And in some people's cases, that's in God. And their body allows them to do it because they have so much faith in God in that case. And in some people's case, it's I have so much belief in my higher power, whatever.
Well, do you think that's why the medical system needs everybody to buy in?
Yes.
Because if you don't believe the medicine's going to work, then it's not going to work.
I think about that a lot. I think about, there's probably an amount that it's just going to work because your chemicals in your body do this and that thing with each other. And there's probably a amount that if you just don't believe it's going to work, then your body's not going to cooperate and stuff like that. And I think about that a lot, definitely. And I don't know. It's like, oh yeah, this is what I was going to say. You know that, oh man, it's not coming to me. The type of medicine that is, it's barely any of it actually in there.
Like minute trace minerals, like a trace amount.
There's a word for it that I want to say. I keep wanting to say like apothecary. That's not it. It's not the word. It's yeah, I can't think of it. Type of like alternative medicine. Holistic medicine. Is the type that maybe that's not it. Maybe it's not holistic medicine, but either way, no, that's not it either. Sorry, my thought popped up. I think it might be holistic medicine. It's the type where you barely infuse the nature of a plant into like these little sugar pills, and basically the idea is that it's not that there's actually food or enough of the plant in there to be like in Chinese medicine, you genuinely just get a bunch of this plant and it does this and it does that. Mm-hmm. In this case, it is more they've infused the essence of the plant into these sugar pills, and it's like some people have that work for them. I tried this one time without doing any research. Like, I didn't understand how this worked at all, and it did not work for me. And I've thought to myself, maybe if I actually got into it, had like a teacher, and I'm like, this person knows what they're talking about and says it's worked for them, then it would just start working for me, I'm not saying that there's 0% chance that there is something just scientific to it, but I bet having the belief that it would work for me would definitely help it work even more. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
More Free Talk Live coming up. 603-283-6160. It's Free Talk Live. More coming up.
Email is easy, instant, and free, and that can be real embarrassing. Email lacks the eye contact and body language you get in face-to-face conversation, or the tone of voice and other nuance you hear in a telephone conversation. Email is just words, often few words. We're all smothering in spam, so we often reply in terse fashion that's easy to misunderstand. And email doesn't cost you a postage stamp, and it lacks the deliberation time it'd take to walk to the snail mail box, so it's easy to succumb to the "oh yeah" stimulus response trap. When in doubt, don't snap back at snippy messages you get. You may have mistaken the sender's intent. And unless you're sending AOL to AOL, there's no unsend. For more tips on critical communication skills for the way things are now, hit survivalspeech.com. I'm Holland Cook.
From Feature Story News in New York, I'm Mitch McCann with the Week in Review. UK Prime Minister Sir Keir Starmer vowed this week to fight on in his job despite speculation of a leadership challenge. It comes after criticism over his appointment of Peter Mandelson as ambassador to the United States, despite his links to Jeffrey Epstein. Stuart Smith has more from London.
Keir Starmer has apologised to the public on Thursday, saying he was sorry for having believed Mandelson's lies and for appointing him as London's ambassador to Washington. Peter Mandelson was a heavyweight in the Labour Party for decades and a well-known friend of Jeffrey Epstein. Despite that, Keir Starmer's government invited him to become US ambassador last year, but documents released by the US government in the Epstein files include his name 6,000 times, showing the extent of that relationship, leading to questions about the judgment of Keir Starmer and his aides in appointing Mandelson to the role.
A suicide bomber attacked a mosque in Islamabad during Friday prayers, killing at least 31 people and injuring more than 160 others. Hira Mustafa has more from Islamabad.
Residents of the locality have described scenes of panic and chaos in the aftermath of the blast as locals try to take those injured to nearby hospitals. Forensic teams are on site collecting evidence to aid the investigation. Police, rangers and army personnel have also been deployed and the area has been cordoned off. Hospitals across the capital remain on high alert and officials have said they fear the death toll could rise further.
Nuclear talks between the US and Iran ended on Friday with little evidence either side has budged on its demands. Neither side spoke face-to-face. The talks instead were mediated by Oman, with a US delegation led by Special Envoy Steve Witkoff and President Trump's son-in-law Jared Kushner. The negotiations come amid a US military build-up in the region and fears of a regional conflict. Tony Waterman has more from Washington.
Iran's foreign minister, Abbas Araghchi, called the talks a good start, but said deep distrust is a serious challenge to the negotiations. He said Friday's talks were limited to Iran's nuclear program, short of U.S. demands to also discuss Tehran's missile program, the backing of regional militias, and the killing of protesters. This is the first time the two sides have talked since the U.S. strikes against Iran's nuclear facilities last June.
Russia and Ukraine have exchanged over 300 prisoners amid peace talks in Abu Dhabi. Dasha Chinashova has more from Moscow.
Russian Defense Ministry says it returned 157 servicemen from Ukrainian captivity, as well as 3 residents of the Kursk region that were captured during the Ukrainian incursion in 2024. The Kremlin says it is still too early to talk about the results of the trilateral talks.
From Feature Story News in New York, I'm Mitch McCann, and that was the Week in Review.
We're still not sure why you'd want to watch, but our video feed is streaming nightly for free at cam.freetalklive.com.
Free Talk Live is brought to you by LibertyMinded.com. Official Free Talk Live gear like t-shirts and hoodies are available at LibertyMinded.com. Plus, you'll find a unique collection of cool and funny liberty-oriented clothing at LibertyMinded.com. That's LibertyMinded.com. With you on Free Talk Live tonight, you've got me, Bonnie.
Riley O'Bill.
And Angelo.
And we've been talking about Steph Curry possibly being an IDF agent, but more news that actually I've wanted to get into for a little bit, but we weren't able to get into it for several weekends in a row. This Ian sent me from the Wall Street Journal, and I really want to get into it because it's kind of evergreen, whether the Maduro thing is gone or is old news or not. So this Wall Street Journal article, Maduro's fall spotlights his torture chamber for political prisoners. That's evergreen in my opinion because it's just, this is something we should know about, that, you know, governments are doing this, not only our own government, because Americans should know their government are people that torture people.
Maduro is definitely a bad dude. We'll give him that.
Yes.
Governments are bad people.
Yeah.
Indeed.
The government is filled with bad individuals. The people who invest their time into hurting you are bad people.
And it gives you an incentive to be a bad person when you have no one to actually answer to, and you can, you know, be a dictator, and you have these special rights that the average human being, even though you're just another human being, has these special rights, and in reality you don't have those, but you claim them, you know. Gives you an incentive to be a bad person. So Maduro's fall spotlights his torture chamber for political prisoners. Welcome to hell, one inmate recalled being told after he arrived at the helicoid, that's bad, has the word hell in it, a detention center for Venezuela's intelligence services. It was meant to be a testament to Venezuela's promising future as an oil-rich nation on the rise, an architectural wonder called the helicoid, spiraling, that just doesn't sound in Spanish. I'm like, what the hell does that mean? The helicoid, spiraling around a massive rock in the center of Caracas. Ew, I bet that rock is like soaking up the energy of torture, you know? There's a UN meditation room in the UN New York City building they have, where they had this artist create a meditation room. There's this giant, huge one piece of marble, I think, or maybe granite. It's like, you know, it's not a whole bunch of pieces stuck together. It's one piece, and it goes all the way through the floor and down to just like a room below you, and you don't even know what room is down there. And it just makes me think like people are in there meditating, and then like the energy they're creating in their mind is like influencing the room and getting stuck on that rock, and who knows what the heck is going on in the room underneath you. Yeah.
A helicoid is just a name for a screw shape.
Okay, that makes sense because it spirals around the rock.
Yeah, that's where they get it from.
Today, it is a notorious prison where the United Nations, holy crap, I didn't even see the United Nations get brought up. That is crazy. That's like such a connection, I think. That I just thought that because there's that big rock in the United Nations meditation room, and
they're all conspiring together to destroy us, Bonnie.
Well,
we all know this.
This connection is interesting to me because it's like it could say something about their like metaphysical beliefs.
Sure.
Like, let's get a bunch of nasty torture energy, like connected to the earth via this rock. That's disgusting. Anyways.
I mean, is it? If you want to get super crazy, is it on a bunch of ley lines, or what would? I don't know how people map ley lines. I'm not into that kind of thing. I have no idea.
I've never figured it out.
But if there are ley lines, I wonder if they run underneath this weird screw-shaped prison rock.
Yeah, I really want to know.
That would make sense. I mean, it's almost laughable at this point how many things are lining up to where like they really are just like the big bad guys, even on like a metaphysical sense. Almost it feels like, and it is almost fantastical in a sense. Maybe their evil's so deep that it feels like it has to be fantastical.
Yeah, like we shouldn't want to believe it, even if it makes sense. Shouldn't want to believe it. Yeah, it looks kind of like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 tiered cake. It's kind of, it looks like almost like a highway going in a circle.
Wait, 6 or 7?
7.
Okay.
Maybe even 8 if you count this one that I'm looking at. It's definitely a big rock.
It's 6, 7, Angelo.
Yeah, I know. That's what I said it.
It's
I'm fully aware.
It is like a big dome, but there's like this, like it looks like a highway spiraling, whatever. You can look it up.
No, it makes sense. If it looks like a screw, right? It's like layered as it rotates up the mountain.
And then the top is covered by a dome, so it's not quite like you don't see any exposed rock. It would look a lot cooler if there was like a rock exposed in the middle, but no. So, anyways, back to the article from Wall Street Journal about it. It says. Today, we already read that. Yeah, today it is a notorious prison where the United Nations says political prisoners have been held for years and tortured under the regime of strongmen. Oh, it's not the United. Sorry, hold on 1 second. It's not the United Nations prison. Why did I think that for a second? See, I was reading it.
We were talking about the United Nations, and you figured, oh, well, the United Nations is keeping a prison.
Yeah, I guess that makes no sense. But this is how I read it. It was like a prison where the United Nations, and I stopped there, and I was like, oh, I was thinking it was going to say where the United Nations holds people. But it says where the United Nations says political prisoners have been held for years and tortured.
No, it does look like a cake.
Yeah, it looks like a cake, an ugly metal cake. In a highway, kind of looks like a highway from the top.
It does,
but like a terrifying highway. If you were like,
it looks like a huge Texas, like spaghetti junction, like a huge.
Oh yeah,
like layered
highways.
Interstates. Yeah.
Yep, I'm going to Houston next week, and I was already thinking how scared I'm gonna be, even in the like ride with my friends driving me home. I'm like, oh, I haven't been to like Houston or San Antonio or a big city in a long time. And even just driving through New York City with my friends not too long ago was pretty scary on like any kind of highway that went up.
Yeah,
I don't like it. And
going over the bridges
used to be so normal to me, and it's like bridges are scary too, but
well, I'm thinking in New York, like where it's like different, like there's 3 or 4 layers of bridge all in one. All together.
Yeah, I didn't like that. Definitely didn't like that. I don't like being underneath another highway. It's the same thing in Boston on the way to the airport. I don't like that, but anyways.
Being underwater, dude. I think that's so cool.
I hate
that we built a highway underwater.
I know it's
so neat.
Wild thing to think about.
I love watching my GPS thing, like being able to track me, and then bloop, I'm gone, and then I might pick up, and it'll be like in the middle of the ocean.
I don't like it at all. I don't like it at all. And my grandpa was like tormenting me as a kid. He was like. I don't remember where we lived in Virginia, so it was somewhere around there, and I was in the car with my dad's dad and my grandma, and like he's my grandpa. I was just trying to think which grandpa that was, sorry. Anyways, and
your firefighter grandpa?
Yes, and he was like, he was saying we're underwater right now, isn't that cool, isn't that crazy? And I was like, nope, I don't like that at all. And he was just like, uh-oh, looks like water is coming out of that hole and stuff like that. And I was like 5 or something like that. So scary.
That sounds like a grandpa thing to do.
Yep, it does.
And I remember the same ride. We would be like just getting back onto the base, and he'd be like, "If I dropped you off here right now, would you know how to get home?" And I was like, "No." And he's just like, "You need to know these things." I'm like, "I'm 5."
Also sounds like a grandpa thing to say.
It does.
He's so old he forgets what it's like to be a 5-year-old. So he's like, "How do you not know this thing yet?"
Yeah.
I've been around for
That's so funny.
like less than around 1,000 days, old man.
And it actually is kind of interesting when somebody older than you points out something like that, because you're like, I just never thought of it like that. Why would I need to get home from here? And then like next time we're coming through the gate, I'm thinking about it and stuff, but probably not enough to actually know how to get home. But anyways.
Well, at least he put the thought in your head. That's like a grandpa thing to do, though. Is just put an idea in your head. Hey, maybe I should pay attention to where I'm at sometimes.
Yeah, that's a good point. But we have a caller on the line, and that's what Free Talk Live is about. 603-283-6160, so you can get in on the conversation with us. Sarah in New Mexico. Sarah, you're on Free Talk Live. What's on your mind?
Yes, I have a speeding camera update. So it turns out we have like 20 speeding cameras in the city limit. And then out in the county, it turns out we have 20 more speeding cameras. And some of them are mobile.
Whoa.
And the city right next to it, Rio Rancho, they have 10 mobile speeding cameras.
What does that mean, a mobile speeding camera, like on a cop car?
No, like on a trailer.
Oh,
they just park their trailer at the side of the highway.
Okay, I was imagining it going around like Wall-E or something.
like a drone flying around.
Yeah, but I was like, you have mobile. It's like, what is it? I said, is it a van? It used to be a van, but now it's a trailer.
Oh.
But the trailer before used to just tell you the speed. It never works. You tell the speed. Who cares? You only behave when you get a ticket.
I've seen some ones that have fake red and blue lights on them, and they'll flash at you when you go too fast. And I've totally been getting cut at night. I've been flying through places and totally been flashed by one of those and slowed down. I've totally been like, oh gosh, it's over, and then I slowed down.
Honestly, if sometimes I'm like not really meaning to speed by a whole lot, and I see it pop up that I'm speeding, and I'm like, oh yeah, I guess I should slow down. It's like, because if I'm not meaning to speed, I just kind of am, and then I get hit by that. Sometimes I'm like, oh yeah, I guess I could slow down. So I don't think it works 0%, but maybe in New Mexico, because Sarah talks about how they're the worst drivers of all time. Kind of agree.
I just mean, even without the ticket, just getting flashed at. Like if I'm not paying, like if it's a small town and it's like 30 miles per hour and it just happens to be in the middle of a highway, I mean that's a speed trap, dude. Why are you driving that fast anyways? If they're gonna give you a chance and scare you, I'm just gonna slow down and do the speed limit. I'll be back up to 55 in a couple minutes.
Yeah, exactly. I think that would work on me too, but like I said, maybe not New Mexico.
Well, I don't know what the consequences here is. That I know that it does not go on your license. Like like in Arizona, after so many of those, they'll just cancel your license, the points against your license. So they don't do that here.
Yeah, license points. They do that the same thing in like the UK too.
Oh yeah, if you have too many of those points and you don't pay for it, you don't show up, and your license gets suspended for temporarily, like. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. They do that in other states like Georgia, so they don't do that here. I think the only thing they do is put it on the credit. And for what people have been telling me, they just like, I just ignore all the tickets. I just don't pay. I'm just like, boy, that's really gutsy. So I wonder what the consequences are. And don't they have points against your insurance? Your
Maybe.
insurance company finds about it. And then also goes on your credit, right? Your credit rating gets really bad if you don't pay them.
Well, then if your insurance says we're not going to insure you anymore, you have too many tickets, and then you get pulled over and you don't have any insurance, then wouldn't you get in trouble there? Isn't there like consequences built in later? It's just not up to like the individual. They'll put it off on some company.
Yeah, and then they have the collection agency to collect them. Collect. I mean, if you have some kind of a responsible life, I think you would pay it or work it off. We have a work program. I've talked to You can actually look it up. They'll have you like pick up trash, be part of the cleanup crew, and work off a ticket. If you don't have money, but you have time. So, but most people, their time is money. If they work a job, they'll make 3-5 times as much more money than you would waste in picking up a ticket. So most people just pay it. So, yeah, I don't know. So, but to me, we accomplished a lot. So in this whole area, we have around 50 speeding cameras, and they're going to install more. Like, I think more is coming. So, but I don't know. I think the public welcomes the speeding cameras, but they are against the red light cameras. So,
well, maybe it sounds like because they can get around the speeding camera without getting, their license taken away. Is probably all there is to it. And it probably works like if you get arrested for something else, well, now you have another ding.
Well, and the speeding camera is one thing. The red light cameras, they'll like take a picture of everybody. And I've seen heard of red light cameras that'll ticket you for not having a seatbelt on.
That's crazy.
Or they're starting to install ones that try to catch you on your phone on camera, and then they'll ticket you for using a mobile device, and it'll be like, we caught you on camera.
Wow, that's awful.
And sends you a ticket for it. So I mean, I can see why the red light cameras are against it, but a speed camera would just be taking a picture of your license plate, I guess, or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Or that would be the focus. It wouldn't be other things.
Yep.
Then they'd have to prove that you were either driving the day or not if you take it to court.
Yeah. Oh yeah, dude. I'm fully aware. I used my dead grandpa's registration for 3 years after he died because he paid upfront on it. And then I just got a statement saying that the car was given to me via a legal affidavit, and then I just drove the car all over the country, and it was all in his name. So whatever happened, dude. And he was dead. So put a warrant out for his arrest.
Yep, I've taken a ticket to court, and they couldn't prove who had parked the car there that day, and they straight up said in court, they were like, I don't have the law in front of me to figure out who it should go to since it's registered to a church, and you don't have any proof of which person under the church even drove it, so they just dropped it. So I quote-unquote won, but...
Oh, well, my grandpa also did that. I was parking illegally at a college where a girl I was dating at the time was, and I would just park in the student section even though I didn't have a pass, and I just wouldn't pay the tickets, and eventually they tried to get a hold of Pops, and he was like, well, can you prove it was me who parked the car? And they were like, click, and they just hung up on him, and he was like, I won.
Nice, that's awesome.
And then he screamed at me because he got bothered, and he was like, what are you doing? These guys are bothering me. He was like, I got out of it, but you need to not do that. And I was like, okay, you're right. The car's in your name. I can't be frivolous with it.
Yeah. Get him in trouble instead.
Yeah, but after he was dead, I mean, I'm not getting a dead guy in trouble. That's...
Yeah. So, I want to learn more about this torture chamber. That sounds wonderful. I want to learn more about this torture chamber from Venezuela. What happens when a person just becomes a dictator of a country and gets to do whatever he wants? He creates a prison out of a place that is an architectural wonder called the Helicoid. And it's this thing that's like a big building that's spiraling around a massive rock in the center of Caracas in Venezuela. And
so was it not a prison to begin with?
That's what I want to know. It didn't tell us what they built it to be.
It sounds like it was just like an architectural experiment, like a wonder, like one of the kind of like a I don't know, if like a, you know, those houses that are like, oh, this was built by so and so architect.
Yeah, like an art thing.
Yeah, like an art building. Like an art kind of.
But it says exactly. It doesn't tell us what it's meant to be, and then it says it used to be a testament to the Venezuela's promising future, but it didn't say what it was used for. And then it says today it is a notorious prison. So it's like, yeah, they kind of skipped over that.
Maybe it was like a trade center.
It could be honestly used as anything. A bank,
yeah,
I don't know.
I think of like the Sydney Opera House. You know how it's built. Like it doesn't really make sense, but it's pretty.
I thought it does make sense. I thought.
Oh, for the acoustics, is it all acoustics?
That's what I guessed by looking at it. I never heard any other explanation.
I thought part of it was this was like an architectural Maybe
Probably
the
is part
acoustics
of it.
are it, but the architectural acoustics of it is like outstanding.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I don't see anything else that looks like that. So probably is the case. It says that after strongman Nicolas Maduro was captured in the U.S. raid last weekend, quote unquote, because like I said, I've been holding on to this article. This week, the remnants of Maduro's regime began letting a trickle of political prisoners, just 9 as of Friday. But like I said, this article is from January 9th. So maybe more have been taken out by now, gotten out of there. Just 9 as of Friday, out of the helicoid and other prisons, with hundreds still languishing. Regime officials said more would be freed as a gesture of peace as Caracas looks to appease the U.S. It looks like Trump genuinely is convincing or influencing other people to do a lot of pardons. Because whenever New Jersey governor just recently left office, the day he left, he pardoned like 147 people, something like that.
For what, though?
All kinds of different crimes.
Oh, okay.
One of them is a former Free Talk Live caller. I can't remember his name off the top of my head right now. I knew it like last week. I think it might... No. I don't want to guess his name. And he is a person who sells weed and maybe also psychedelics all over the country through the mail.
Okay.
And he just says, I'm not a U.S. citizen. You can't do anything to me. But not saying he's like not a U.S. citizen. He's born here and everything. He just says like basically like Gronsky method or something else.
Yeah,
like
he
that.
just like rejected his citizenship.
Yeah, and he hasn't gotten in big trouble since then, and now he just got pardoned, so that's awesome. He wasn't in prison at the time, but he has, he's not a felon anymore.
Yeah,
he's just been
true.
doing it even after the legal trouble he had too. He has like
he just kept trucking.
Ian said he has like the biggest balls or whatever. Can I say that on there?
I don't know.
Sure, I can. Anyways.
Yeah.
We'll just roll with it. I think questioning it is the... Yeah, Ian said it, so it's okay to say on the air. He only ever talks in radio-friendly speech.
I just think that it's probably the case that he did, in fact, get influenced, that he, as in the New Jersey governor, probably did get influenced by Trump to do a bunch of pardons. It just seems like people think that's cool now. So hopefully that's the case in Caracas too. It says, for those released over the years, the experience of the helicoid is seared into their memories. Oh, I bet it's a torture prison. Vilca Fernandez, a former student leader and Maduro opponent, still remembers when he arrived at the helicoid in 2016 after being grabbed by the feared intelligence agents in his home city, Merida. Welcome to hell, an intelligence agent told Fernandez, rubbing his hands together. Ew. Over the next 2 years, Fernandez recalled being chained up in a dark room for 2 years. He later watched as his fellow inmates were hanged upside down. Others were forced to strip naked and hit so hard with a wooden paddle on the buttocks that they couldn't stand up. Others struggled to breathe as they got doused in tear gas inside overcrowded cells. It is a system that seeks your destruction physically but also psychologically, said Fernandez, now 40 years old and living in exile in Florida. Today, I can say that if it is not hell, hell will look like what helicoid is. That's sick. The helicoid has housed dissidents of all types, from street organizers to Rocio San Miguel, a respected analyst of Venezuela's military, and Enrique Marquez, a former opposition politician and one of the few independent candidates to challenge Maduro's alleged electoral fraud in 2024. San Miguel and Marquez were released Thursday. Mario Torres believes his father, a local labor union leader, could be inside the helicoid after he was detained last year. Isn't that horrible to just not even know if he's in there? Jose Elias Torres, sorry, did I mess up?
But a union leader? That doesn't. Why would the communists take out a worker party leader?
I don't know. Maybe
why would he be so upset about that?
Maybe it's a opposition type of, because it's like they don't really have.
No, it's because there's no unity. It's not real. That's what I'm just making fun of communists for killing their workers.
I just think like their opposition is just going to be another flavor of communism. No one down there is like a Malay except Malay,
Yeah, almost like a Leninism versus a Trotskyism kind of fight.
Something like that. It's just like dumb. It's like just dumb to begin with arguments, and then they're also just completely incredibly rigged to where they don't even care if you know they're rigged. So Jose Elias Torres was arrested in November after denouncing violations of labor rights in Venezuela. See, it's like, sounds communist, but for some reason the communists went after him too. Torres then received threats that he would be jailed if he didn't stop, his son said. We now have hope that there will be a change for all political prisoners, the younger Torres said. In the 1950s, during the military dictatorship of Marco Perez, Venezuelan architect Jorge Ramiro Gutierrez began developing the helicoid. At the time, Venezuela saw a surge of oil income, and the military government wanted to demonstrate national progress through futuristic construction projects. Oh, that's why it's ugly. Because it's like, it's an impressive thing, I guess, but it's ugly because it's like, built by like, to show like national communist pride, like everything else that's ugly.
Communists build ugly things, apparently.
Were they communists, that Perez's dictatorship?
I don't know, I guess we'd have to look into that. I just kind of assume, so I could be wrong about that. Let's look into it when we come back. But Free Talk Live, more Free Talk Live is coming up. Don't go anywhere. It's Free Talk Live, 603-283-6160. That's 603-283-6160. More Free Talk Live coming up.
Free Talk Live.
What kind of force should I be able to use against a person who tries to prevent me from bringing a guest onto my property?
It depends on if it's a legal citizen, they shouldn't be able to use any.
I don't care about your laws, son. Hey, listen to me. Your politicians are a bunch of liars and thieves. Tell me about your laws now.
Let me finish my statement. Or
I heard about your legals and illegals.
Let him go, Mark. Let him go. Go ahead.
Screaming little liberal, aren't you?
I ain't no liberal.
Let me finish what I'm saying without cutting me off.
I'm not a liberal. You call me a liberal, and we'll be going at it all night long.
Well, that's the impression that you're giving with the statement.
It's because you've never listened.
Now, if I can respond, all of the laws that are set forth in this nation were set forth by the representatives of the people that we put into power.
You mean liars and thieves.
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern at freetalklive.com.
The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism, will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount. There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and our main feed that includes everything. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 3 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Feature Story News in New York, I'm Mitch McCann with the Week in Review. UK Prime Minister Sir Keir Starmer vowed this week to fight on in his job despite speculation of a leadership challenge. It comes after criticism over his appointment of Peter Mandelson as ambassador to the United States despite his links to Jeffrey Epstein. Stuart Smith has more from London.
Keir Starmer has apologised to the public on Thursday, saying he was sorry for having believed Mandelson's lies and for appointing him as London's ambassador to Washington. Peter Mandelson was a heavyweight in the Labour Party for decades and a well-known friend of Jeffrey Epstein. Despite that, Keir Starmer's government invited him to become US ambassador last year, but documents released by the US government in the Epstein files include his name 6,000 times, showing the extent of that relationship, leading to questions about the judgment of Keir Starmer and his aides in appointing Mandelson to the role.
A suicide bomber attacked a mosque in Islamabad during Friday prayers, killing at least 31 people and injuring more than 160 others. It is the deadliest attack in the Pakistan capital in more than a decade. Hira Mustafa has more from Islamabad.
Residents of the locality have described scenes of panic and chaos in the aftermath of the blast as locals try to take those injured to nearby hospitals. Forensic teams are on site collecting evidence to aid the investigation. Police, rangers and army personnel have also been deployed and the area has been cordoned off. Hospitals across the capital remain on high alert and officials have said they fear the death toll could rise further. The Prime Minister and Foreign Minister have condemned the attack. Pakistan's President Asif Ali Zardari has said targeting innocent civilians is a crime against humanity.
Nuclear talks between the US and Iran ended on Friday with little evidence either side has budged on its demands. Neither side spoke face-to-face. The talks instead were mediated by Oman, with a US delegation led by Special Envoy Steve Witkoff and President Trump's son-in-law Jared Kushner. The negotiations come amid a US military build-up in the region and fears of a regional conflict. Tony Waterman has more from Washington.
Iran's foreign minister, Abbas Araghchi, called the talks a good start, but said deep distrust is a serious challenge to the negotiations. He said Friday's talks were limited to Iran's nuclear program, short of U.S. demands to also discuss Tehran's missile program, the backing of regional militias, and the killing of protesters. This is the first time the two sides have talked since the U.S. strikes against Iran's nuclear facilities last June.
Russia and Ukraine have exchanged over 300 prisoners amid peace talks in Abu Dhabi. Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky says the talks were not easy, but said Ukraine has been and will remain as constructive as possible. Meanwhile, Moscow says Zelensky does not seek peace. Dasha Chernyshova has more from Moscow.
Russian Defense Ministry says it returned 157 servicemen from Ukrainian captivity, as well as 3 residents of the Kursk region that were captured during the Ukrainian incursion in 2024. The Kremlin says it is still too early to talk about the results of the trilateral talks, but the Russian delegation is promptly reporting information to the Russian president. These talks included security officials from Russia and Ukraine. Separately, Russia's economic envoy Kirill Dmitriev, who was also in Abu Dhabi holding talks on the economic track and US-Russia cooperation, said that there was good positive movement forward.
And finally this week, the White House has signalled it's open to negotiating with Democrats over immigration enforcement reforms to end a funding fight. Lawmakers are facing a Friday the 13th deadline to secure funding for the Department of Homeland Security following controversial killings in Minneapolis by the department's employees. Nick Harper reports from Washington.
A change of tune from the White House. Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt saying the administration is willing to discuss some of the reform options the Democrats have put forward. They have laid out a 10-point proposal, all aimed at reining in ICE agents' activities on US streets. The Democrat demands include ICE agents not wearing masks or face coverings, always carrying ID, and needing a judicial warrant to enter a private property. The Republicans had initially flatly refused those demands, but now, while the White House says some of the suggestions are non-starters, it seems that the president may be willing to negotiate. At stake is trying to pass a full year's funding for the Department of Homeland Security. If that doesn't happen before next Friday, funding runs out for the department.
From Feature Story News in New York, I'm Mitch McCann, and that was the Week in Review.
Researchers were able to successfully teach a father how to communicate his emotions with rudimentary hand gestures. The stunning development happened after Stanford researchers spent 9 months trying to train 42-year-old Pittsburgh father Ron Myers to express simple sentiments like pride and love in a way few thought possible. To conduct the study, researchers used large, simplistic diagrams depicting hand gestures a dad might use to show emotion in a way Ron could easily comprehend.
We would often leave Band of Brothers or 30 for 30 reruns on to help him stay comfortable.
When Ron was able to successfully identify an emotion, he was given rewards to reinforce good behavior, including buffalo wings or a moment to read a page of a Tom Clancy novel. Despite Ron's breakthrough, researchers say he still has a way to go before achieving full emotional maturity, as after several months of work with Ron, he still retreats to the corner of the lab to look up drywalling techniques on the internet whenever his real family drops by to see him.
This is the Onion News Network.
You can help spread the ideas of liberty with our Patreon for just $5 per month at amps.freetalklive.com. Free Talk Live.
Talk Live, talk radio that you control, and 603-283-6160. That's 603-283-6160 is the phone number. You can call in to bring up whatever is on your mind, and you can change the subject. You can tell us we're wrong about what we've been saying. You can challenge us. It is up to you. That's the point of Free Talk Live. 603-283-6160. Are you tired of the oppressive rules and moderation of the big tech social media sites? Our Mastodon server at social.freetalklive.com can set you free. Mastodon is free, open source, decentralized, and federated. Multiple apps are available for iOS, Android, Windows, Mac, and Linux. Social.freetalklive.com. And with you on the show tonight, on Free Talk Live, you've got me, Bonnie.
Riley O'Bill.
And Angelo.
And I looked it up in the last segment. We were like, oh, was Perez communist in the 1950s in Venezuela, the guy who had this big opulent building built? No, he was fascist. And they said he had a flair for opulent fascism. So, yeah.
Okay.
I'm not sure if he not nationalized the oil companies, and then it said that he used oil profits to build big opulent things.
Huh. It sounds like that he wanted a torturous prison for his opulence.
Yeah, it's kind of disgusting.
Yeah, has it always been a prison then?
I don't know that, honestly. That's the point. We didn't get into that. But, well, it says the Helicoida private project became a symbol of Venezuela's embrace of consumer culture. The building was going to be turned into a shopping center.
So it's supposed to be like a mega mall, a mall of Venezuela.
Yeah.
That sounds like... That would have been cool. That would have been that kind of would have been fun.
Oh, it actually is a road. It says where people would drive up and down the spiraling road to shops and sell to shops selling clothes and toys and jewelry. Wow, it literally, that's so creepy. That'd be horrifying. You'd need to have at least not a ramp, but a tiny little fence thing. What are those called?
Like a guardrail?
Yeah, guardrail to make it a little less scary. It'd
Well,
still be so scary.
It's not that tall though.
It's not that it's tall. It just looks like you could easily just I'm gotta make this turn really tight. Or
Well,
else
if they
I'll fall
just,
off the side.
if they just put those concrete barriers up like they do on parking structures, like open air parking lots.
That's terrifying. If that exists, I've never been in one. If you mean one that's basically exactly what I'm saying, like a guardrail, then yeah, okay, that maybe I've seen something like that.
Well, no, I'm saying the concrete, the pylon, the tall ones.
Yeah, just one or two little towers, and then you can see straight out from there. Yeah, that'd terrify me.
No, I mean up all the way up the ridge, up the that it goes along the curve to the outside, so you can't really drive over the edge. It's like a concrete wall.
Okay, yeah. If it's one wall, a wall, that makes sense. And it's a little less scary, but especially if you can just see right over the edge.
I don't think they'd have a wall in the 50s, though. I think they would just let people drive off.
And there's no wall going up Mount Washington in New Hampshire here, and I genuinely started getting really scared. And the thing is, it's not even that tall of a mountain. It's just that all the mountains I've ever been in a car driving up haven't been just so well, there's the edge like that.
There's specifically a hill that you have to take to get out of kind of where I grew up. If you want to go east, towards Nevada and whatnot. It's called the Doherty Slide, and it drops a mile in elevation over 2 miles, and it's one of the steepest grades in America.
Oh, wow.
No guardrail, dude.
That's intense.
And there's no trees on the other side. It's desert, right? So if you go down, you just go. It's sheer. It's one of the throwing a basketball down it is one of the most fun things I've ever done.
What made it fun for you, Angela?
It went forever,
man.
dude. And you can see forever out there too, because there's no trees. It's the desert, right?
Yeah.
And it's this. The elevation drops a mile over 2 miles, so it's almost like a 20%, 30% grade. It's a crazy grade.
I don't like that at all.
So at the top, and you throw a rock or a basketball or a tire. You can just see it go forever. It's super fun.
You could probably hear it too. That'd be fun. It'd be it's still going. I hear it even though I don't see it. If you
I know, right? That'd be awesome.
So even in Colorado, the highways, clearly they have guardrails, and it's more than just that. Still, those get really scary because they're so incredibly high up, and you're going pretty fast. You're on a highway and stuff like that. In Mount Washington, it's not oh, that's not tall at all because I've lived in Utah once. It's not that. It's just simply, it's not the sheer height is the really bad part. It's the fact that it feels like
You can just go over the edge.
Right over.
Yeah.
I don't like that at all. Like, I was getting really freaked out. I definitely couldn't have driven it myself. Anyways, yeah, so that's creepy. They wanted to make it a shopping center you could just drive up and down, and probably just no rules in the 1950s. I don't like that at all.
Well, I wouldn't say it's creepy. It might
To
be
me.
worrying. Like, it could be
Yeah.
dangerous, but it's
Yeah.
not like a... I don't see that as like creepy.
Yeah, I didn't
you
mean it
know?
like that. I just, okay, sure, scary. But it says the project drew the attention of the international architectural community and was the center of an exhibition. Is that how, am I saying it right?
Yeah, you are.
For some reason, it sounded like inhibition to me. And yeah, exhibition. Like an exhibit. There we go. Yeah, now it sounds more right. It just felt wrong. In the early 1960s, at the Museum of Modern Art in New York. How can it be the center of an exhibition, but in New York?
Probably because they made like a model, an at-scale model, and took it to the New York guys, and we're like, look upon my invention.
Yeah, now they finally say it way down here. It says the helicoid was meant to be a shopping center, then abandoned, and eventually became an intelligence agency headquarters and detention center. This is like just interesting on its face because I've never heard of this at all. Have you guys?
No. Was it ever a mall at all? And then, like, once Venezuela collapsed, people quit using it, and then it turned into a state agency?
So
that would
many
make
questions.
the most sense.
So many questions, honestly. I don't think that's really been answered here or is going to be, because I think they want to get back into the torture. Sounds bad.
Yeah, that's fair. I think the torture is probably more important than the history of the architecture of the building.
But it is so interesting and weird. It's like a thing I'd never heard of before. So the helicoid epitomizes the bid for a really rapid urban modernization, said Lisa Blackmore, co-editor of a book with Venezuelan cultural historian Celeste Alacaiga, I think, and on the helicoid titled Downward Spiral, El Helicoid's Descent from Mall to Prison. It was something really unique, a real marvel of modernist architecture, said Blackmore, a professor at the University of Virginia. It was intended to be a space of freedom of movement, of consumption, of accessibility, she added. In the 1960s, and that's even like, oh, that's creepy, genuinely, to think, oh, you're in this like torture chamber and you're like, this was supposed to be a Spencer's Gifts or whatever. You know, not.
Yeah, I wonder if this was the back part of Spencer's that I'm hanging upside down in right now.
Yeah, especially if it was a mall, like you guys are asking, if it was a mall at once, and it's like maybe they still have some of the, maybe not decorations, but you know, stuff in there that would make it look like that. That's so
small-ish, yeah.
Merchandise, I don't know, or like a sign on the window,
Or even like some of the doors, maybe like the interior of some places.
Yeah, that makes it really creepy. Genuinely, that's like, you know, it's like you're being tortured in an liminal space.
Like that JCPenney I visited the other day.
Yeah, yes. He said he went to a JCPenney that still is actually
open, and it's in a dead mall.
And
it's such a big JCPenney because it was a huge mall that it was inside of. So, and it's a flagship store, so it's a huge store.
Is there like all those? Is there like a bunch of those? Oh, that's a money laundering front, or is it just empty otherwise?
It's just dead, empty. It's the only store. I think there's a trampoline park way at the other end.
Wow.
That's a dead mall, man.
It's super dead, but it's a gigantic mall. It's in Concord. And it's a flagship store, so it's a huge store. And I was in there, and I didn't see another person. I saw one worker at the front, and then it just was dead. Just so dead air, playing like 2010s music. It felt like I just stepped back in time. And I was
crazy.
I was back in a department store, but it was one of those weird feelings where it was like, you know, you can live in the past, but nobody's there anymore.
That is so
standing
weird.
in this dead mall in this JCPenney. You know what I mean?
Except the clerk who's always been an NPC anyway.
Yeah.
That's so creepy.
Yeah.
That's so weird. I wonder if the JCPenney is itself, I meant to say, is a front for something. Because how many people go to it a day?
Old people love it.
Else?
Old people are still, it's the only reason they're still open is that
and one thing I love about
boomers.
that, if I lived in Concord, I would go there to walk my dog when it's cold outside.
Oh, the mall. That's what a lot of malls have turned into.
Yeah.
Actually, you can find YouTube videos of that Concord Mall of people, urban explorers going through it. And I mean, they've just tore it all up inside. The skylight's been busted out. Bricks have been thrown through it.
So it's not even like lit or anything? Like,
No,
there's
it's
not, like,
pitch
lights on or
black in
anything?
there.
Oh, never mind.
Yeah,
I wouldn't walk my dog.
Yeah,
there
when
now.
you look in there, it's like a dead space. It's like you're standing in the only living part of a dead organism, and it's like on its last legs, kind of thing. Like you're watching like dying breaths of something that was like vital. You know, malls were a huge part of Americana or like culture for a long time, and it's like looking at like a dying giant.
Yeah, that's so creepy. I wasn't picturing what you're saying at all correctly until then. I thought it was like empty, but like all the lights were on and maybe some other people were in there walking, like old people, but no, that's so weird. I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to like going there and like taking some pictures and turning on a flashlight and being like, oh, that's so creepy, look at that. But I wouldn't walk my dog like I was saying.
Well, I think like definitely the homeless like break in every winter because it gets so cold outside. Like you're dead if you don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they deal with that kind of stuff. Yeah, it's not somewhere you want to like hang out.
Wow, it mentions that right here. It says in the 1960s, after the fall of Perez's dictatorship, the helicoid was abandoned without being completed. Oh, it wasn't even completed. Shanty towns developed around the building and homeless families began to live there. So I guess Perez's dictatorship, like a fascist dictatorship, failed somehow, and I'm not sure who exactly took over next.
That's just creepy to think about. These people are living on the corpse of something that could have been, or like even the homeless people at this mall. You know what I mean? They're living in the
corpse of MySpace and
of their giants that they rode in on. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they're living in a corpse of a thing that could have been great or was great. At one point.
Yeah, and that was, but it was like a staple of the culture, and now there's homeless people living in it.
I wish there was a mall here. Every time I go to like the Hobby Lobby in Keene, I'm like, I'm in civilization again. And I feel like it's like a big store, you know, like because in Texas, like the malls aren't just like dead. Like they're maybe like if you were like to read in the newspaper, it'd be like attendance is down in our malls, but like you can go to the Lone Star Mall in San Antonio and be like in crowds of people to where it's annoying. Even
when was the last time you've been in one?
Like 2021. It's just that it's like accessible because you're in a huge city, but then like I bet the further you go out, like maybe Rolling Oaks Mall is dead, I don't know, that's more out of in like Live Oak, which is outside of San Antonio. Maybe the further you get away from a city, it genuinely is like dying more and more. But when you're in a city, it's like you can just pull your car in and be in a mall really quickly, and like I need a party dress or something like that, and there it's genuinely like
well the Mall of New Hampshire is still open in Nashua.
That's true.
And that's like a huge mall, and they're doing okay. I mean, probably not great, but they're not closed. They're not what happened to the Concord Mall at all.
Yeah. Concord's too run down and don't like it at all.
Yeah, not a place. I bet it could have. I bet it used to be like the 70s. Concord was probably like popping. I bet everything looks pretty nice.
It probably
70s
looks a lot
and the 80s.
better. Yeah. Maybe Manchester too. And I've always heard Austin was awesome in the 80s. It was like perfect. Like it was like the small but city and awesome, and everybody was hippies or weird or whatever. I mean, I don't think hippies existed in the 80s, but
that's what they talk about Portland too. It used to be super clean, and it was hippies, and but like in a better kind of way than whatever like, they're doing now.
Let's ruin this, basically.
Well, statists love to ruin a good thing, it seems like, especially the leftists.
Yep, that's definitely true. I like the way you said that, Riley, because I think both try to ruin good things, but I think the righties don't like just purposely do it. Like the leftists will be like, you know what? I need to be uglier. Chop off all my hair.
Oh yeah.
All this kind of stuff. Like
I need to reject the ideas of what it means to be attractive, conventionally attractive.
Yeah.
And somehow that gives me power over men. I don't know.
Because of the oppression.
It's the patriarchy. We gotta smash the patriarchy.
It's just Marxist dialectic, dude. It's just oppressor, oppressee dialectic.
I'm more oppressed now because I'm uglier. So.
And somehow I'm more free by making myself.
And also, it's a moral statement. It's like, oh, you're sitting there putting your mascara on. You're beneath me morally. It's so stupid. It's like this whole thing, like male gaze. What are you doing your mascara for? The male gaze. I'm dyeing what's left of my hair green. See what I mean?
Yeah.
So genuinely I agree with what you said about
and that. And surprisingly, that doesn't stop guys.
Yeah.
That doesn't stop guys.
It's what I got, man. It's what's left.
Yeah, it's what I have to work with.
That's funny. And honestly, I could see a certain type of like disgusting kind of guy, not like, okay, I could see a certain type of disgusting kind of guy being like, no, I prefer this because it's like, all I have to do is be like, oh, I totally agree with everything you're saying, and just be a total like...
A performative male feminist?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I could totally see that.
Well, they're just selling out for the goods at that point, you know?
Mm-hmm. That's true. I mean, not that they don't probably genuinely believe it, what they're saying.
They don't.
It just became that.
I don't think they
there's
do.
there's definitely like performative type that's like, I don't even believe what I'm just saying. I'm just saying it. But I do think there are genuinely other like leftist men who are like, you know what I'm saying? It's so true. But also, if I say this, it gets me points with the green-haired ladies.
Yeah. No, I don't think they believe that. I think they kind of start saying things like that, and they see that it gets them brownie points with the women, so they continue down that path
But
until
not just,
they
like,
eventually
feminism.
believe it.
I don't think it's just feminism.
Well, no, I mean
it's
like leftism in general.
Yeah,
I don't
it
think
could just be like, we need, like, I have heard so many times on like dates and stuff from like men, and it's like, oh, you're not even a man, where it's like, they're just like, I just wish we shouldn't even have to work, and the minimum wage should be $15 an hour. Of course, now it's like
it should be $25 an hour.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm talking
They always
more about
move
like
it up, don't they?
2019.
Yeah, I remember having this argument in high school. We were talking about $15 an hour minimum wage.
Me too.
And now it's 2026. It's been a decade, and now we're talking
I'm a
about
libertarian today.
$25
Because-
an hour minimum wage in some places.
Because when you were in high school and when I was just out of high school, Bernie Sanders and other people were talking about like raising it to $15 an hour. So my sister was on Facebook like, yeah, it should be $15 an hour. I don't really know why, I just think it should be. And I was just like, that makes no sense. I was just genuinely arguing from like a conservative type perspective, but accidentally being libertarian and common sense. I was like, that makes no sense. If they raise the minimum wage, all that's going to happen is everything's going to get more expensive. It will be like we don't have any more money than we had before. And she was arguing back, and my friend joined in and was like on my side, but making all these points. I was like, what? Wow, how do you know this stuff? Where'd you get these ideas? And he showed me FEE, the Foundation for Economic Education.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
Yep.
They do good content over there.
They really do. So that's how I got like actually into like economics, and not just like, I mean, the certain things that are just common sense like that. So that is why I'm a libertarian today, thanks to Bernie Sanders, in a roundabout way, if you think about it.
Nice. Thank you, Bernie.
That's funny. So yeah, I don't have that much more to say about all of this stuff. It says that there's a story of a 16-year-old who participated in anti-government protests. His name is Kanach, I'm going to say. And after arriving at the helicoid, he was told to read a script saying he was financed by the opposition. When he refused, he was beaten. Dang. So they wanted to force him to say, like,
Force him to incriminate himself.
Yep. Yeah.
Forced incrimination. That's horrific.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess our government's doing the same thing at this point, like right now.
Ew.
To people. I mean, Guantanamo Bay is still open, isn't it?
Yes, sorry, I said you because I was reading ahead, but yes, definitely. I mean, it's you too.
Yeah, it is you.
It says he was locked in a tiny cell with 16 other detainees who were forced to relieve themselves in plastic bags in front of the other prisoners. First of all, it's a tiny place with 16 people in it.
Yeah, it's kind of gross.
If they didn't behave, guards threatened to throw them into a notorious cell with some 70 other detainees called Guantanamo, where political prisoners were mixed in with killers and other criminals. We had no notion of the time. We didn't know if it was dare night. Absolutely nothing, said Kanach, now 24 years old, living in Madrid. Oh my God.
Hey, can you hold my bag for me?
Yeah, that's horrifying. That's horrifying.
That's really...
It says every day that you're there, you feel as if your life is ending. You probably want it to end. It's horrible.
Well, that's probably the point.
Yeah. That is awful. It's like, I'm not trying to say we should be grateful for the way that the prisons are here, but like, it's always interesting perspective to read about like a really horrible prison experience. Like if you read the Gulag Archipelago, which I've never read or anything, but I've heard about a lot of it from Ian. I'm glad that most likely I'll never end up in a situation like that.
Hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully. Trump wants to build a 250-foot tall arch dwarfing the Lincoln Memorial. This is a great topic to go into the next topic because it's just sounds
opulent
like more
fascism.
Opulent fascism. You're right. That's hilarious.
And where's he getting the funds? Is he nationalizing something?
Maybe not, but I mean, we're basically already partially communist and partially fascist right now.
That's
anyway,
because they're kind of like the same thing.
Yeah, because
National
in America,
socialism.
Yep, they're two wings of the same bird, essentially.
The government gets involved in, markets, and it also feeds people for no work. So it's a mix of both. It says the White House stands about 70 feet tall. That seems taller than I would have thought, honestly. That's pretty big. The Lincoln Memorial, roughly 100 feet. I know that the Washington Monument is 555 feet, so that's way taller. But anyways, the Triumphal Arch, or is it Arch? Yeah, Arch. The Triumphal Arch President Donald Trump wants to build would eclipse both if he gets his wish. Trump has grown attached to the idea of a 250-foot tall structure overlooking the Potomac River.
Potomac.
There we go. Yeah, reading it looks different. I was like, no,
Yeah,
I know that's wrong.
growing up, I always read it like of reading like history
totally
books. I say Potomac.
It's like
in my
Potomac.
head.
That's not right. But it says it will be overlooking the Potomac River, according to two people who spoke on the condition of anonymity to describe his comments. Wow. A scale that has alarmed some architectural experts who initially supported the idea of an arch but expected a far smaller one. That it would be crazy, a 250-foot arch. If you
How big is the one in St. Louis?
That arch. I'm not sure. Let's look it up. St. Louis arch tall. It says it is 630 feet. Whoa.
That's taller than the National Monument.
So, I mean...
Wow.
So, and Trump wants a 200-foot one?
Yeah, I'm never going to go in the
Yeah,
Gateway
okay.
Arch.
Forget this. I mean, I don't care. It's already been done.
And the arch he's talking about is more like the Arctic Triumph in, like more of a square one anyway. With, like,
really?
a rounded circle or circle at the top like an arch should have. But according to the picture they have in this article, so maybe it's not right, but that's what it's looking like to me. And 250 is still pretty big. If you think about, if you guys have been to or heard of, there is a 333-foot tall obelisk in Vermont called it's not coming to me, the Bennington Monument. The Bennington Monument. That, if you look at that, is like way up there. I think it's going to be bigger than the Arctic Triumph. Let's see when we come back. More Free Talk Live coming up, 603-283-6160. It's Free Talk Live. Don't go anywhere, 603-283-6160. More Free Talk Live coming up.
Hey, you are going to love the movie Victimless Crime Spree. It's hilarious, heartwarming, and carries a ton of inspiring freedom messages. Feeling down about the lack of liberty in your life? You need to put on this film with some friends and have a good laugh. It's a true story about me and my friends in New Hampshire living free, singing, dancing, and getting arrested. Of course, it's all on video, and the bad guys, the cops, judges, bailiffs, and sheriffs, they all play their part like it's out of a movie or something. You would think we scripted the whole thing, but it's real life. Go ahead and have a watch, and if it's been a while, have another look. I guarantee you'll notice things now that you didn't notice before. And the best part is that you're going to walk away feeling a renewed sense of your own power. You are the master of your destiny, and you will be free in your lifetime. Victimless Crime Spree.
From Feature Story News in New York, I'm Mitch McCann with the Week in Review. UK Prime Minister Sir Keir Starmer vowed this week to fight on in his job despite speculation of a leadership challenge. It comes after criticism over his appointment of Peter Mandelson as ambassador to the United States, despite his links to Jeffrey Epstein. Stuart Smith has more from London.
Keir Starmer has apologised to the public on Thursday, saying he was sorry for having believed Mandelson's lies and for appointing him as London's ambassador to Washington. Peter Mandelson was a heavyweight in the Labour Party for decades and a well-known friend of Jeffrey Epstein. Despite that, Keir Starmer's government invited him to become US ambassador last year, but documents released by the US government in the Epstein files include his name 6,000 times, showing the extent of that relationship, leading to questions about the judgment of Keir Starmer and his aides in appointing Mandelson to the role.
A suicide bomber attacked a mosque in Islamabad during Friday prayers, killing at least 31 people and injuring more than 160 others. Hira Mustafa has more from Islamabad.
Residents of the locality have described scenes of panic and chaos in the aftermath of the blast as locals try to take those injured to nearby hospitals. Forensic teams are on site collecting evidence to aid the investigation. Police, rangers and army personnel have also been deployed and the area has been cordoned off. Hospitals across the capital remain on high alert and officials have said they fear the death toll could rise further.
Nuclear talks between the US and Iran ended on Friday with little evidence either side has budged on its demands. Neither side spoke face to face. The talks instead were mediated by Oman, with a US delegation led by Special Envoy Steve Witkoff and President Trump's son-in-law Jared Kushner. The negotiations come amid a US military build-up in the region and fears of a regional conflict. Tony Waterman has more from Washington.
Iran's foreign minister, Abbas Araghchi, called the talks a good start, but said deep distrust is a serious challenge to the negotiations. He said Friday's talks were limited to Iran's nuclear program, short of U.S. demands to also discuss Tehran's missile program, the backing of regional militias, and the killing of protesters. This is the first time the two sides have talked since the U.S. strikes against Iran's nuclear facilities last June.
Russia and Ukraine have exchanged over 300 prisoners amid peace talks in Abu Dhabi. Dasha Chinashova has more from Moscow.
Russian Defense Ministry says it returned 157 servicemen from Ukrainian captivity, as well as 3 residents of the Kursk region that were captured during the Ukrainian incursion in 2024. The Kremlin says it is still too early to talk about the results of the trilateral talks.
From Feature Story News in New York, I'm Mitch McCann, and that was the Week in Review.
Yep, we still do email. Drop your email address in the entry box at freetalklive.com, and you'll be kept in the loop with Free Talk Live.
It's Free Talk Live, talk radio that you control. That means that you can call in. You can call 603-283-6160. That's 603-283-6160 to get in on the conversation with us. And with you on Free Talk Live tonight, you've got me, Bonnie.
Riley O'Bill.
And Angelo.
And we do have a caller on the line, so I'm going to go to the phones. Turd Ferguson in Pennsylvania, you're on Free Talk Live. What's on your mind?
Well, a few things. I can't wait for the trend to begin. The trend of all the new sexy young ladies putting on Sydney Sweeney's new lingerie.
I just heard about this yesterday or something.
Dude, this is going to be the greatest trend of all time.
Is it going to be a trend? I'm pretty sure that most of her like target demographic doesn't like her right now, so like that would be shocking.
Really? Are her target demographic? I mean, if her target demographic is sexy young women,
they don't like her.
Then,
that's my point.
Well, why? I mean, are you sure about that? And
because
how many
she's been like
don't
Trump whistling and stuff. Like I honestly don't even blame them. Like you're trying to be a Hollywood actress, like that's where you go, and then you're like, you know what, Trump whistling. Like, I mean, it's just common sense.
I don't think she's Trump whistling.
Yeah,
well,
sure.
What did she say? What did she say that's Trump whistling?
Let's pull something.
She's been caught with a red hat on.
Really, I have not seen
her
that
family's. Well, her whole archetype is like, I'm a hot Southern woman, and my family loves Donald Trump, and I love Donald Trump, and I'm hot.
I don't think she's from the South.
She's from Idaho, but same difference.
Idaho might as well be in the South with how they with how they act. Yes,
Did you know her family has lived in the same house for like 7 generations?
Oh wow!
Oh, so is she a ranching family? That would make sense.
Awesome.
That sounds like Yellowstone.
Cool. Maybe 7 is not the right number, but like many generations. I think that's awesome and cool. It kind of sounds like I'm sure if I could claim that somebody throughout my life would have teased me, being like, oh, are you guys all inbred? Like, how do you stay in the same house? That's crazy, you know?
Well, it would just make sense if, like, let's say great-grandpa had 8 kids, and then one kid got that house, and then he had 3 kids, and then one kid got that house, and then another kid got that house.
But still.
Probably the one you love the most. I mean, how do parents divvy up their houses?
Or whichever one does something.
Or maybe the one that
themselves.
needed it the most. Maybe the other kids like got out on their own and like built their own farms. Who knows?
Just 3 months ago, the Reddit community, whatever it's called, pop culture, just 3 months ago says Sydney Sweeney's Hollywood support crumbles as she stars. I clicked off it on accident. As stars turn on her amid MAGA rumors. MAGA, like Trump.
MAGA rumors.
Says, this is from the Mirror from US again. What is it, Turd?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I don't know what I don't even know what a MAGA rumor is, but I will say that, like, if Hollywood stars are turning on Sydney Sweeney, I really don't care. I mean, Hollywood stars basically turn on if you utter one word that they deem unacceptable in the Hollywood elite circles, they'll abandon you. I don't know. I mean, it seems like the launch of her lingerie sets have been doing really well. It's only been a few days. I think she's made over a few $1 million already on these.
Oh, okay. Well, that's interesting to know. I didn't know it already got launched.
No, because there are MAGA girls. There's right wing women.
That doesn't mean it's going to be like Skims popular. You know what I mean? Like Skims is huge, and I don't think it's going to be.
Right-wing women are way hotter than. I mean, have you seen the women of the left these days? I mean, they make me want to vomit. I mean, they're all fat and they've got disgusting haircuts.
Not necessarily in Los Angeles, if you think about it, though.
Huh?
Not necessarily in Los Angeles, if you think about it, though.
Well, yeah. Well, that's why I'm moving to LA.
And you know what's actually pretty interesting? Me and my friend, we went through Starbucks the other day, and we were talking about how it's like with the leftist girls, who almost everyone who works in a Keen Starbucks is going to be like a leftist girl. You either have two types, and yet we were just talking about like the left wanting to look ugly and stuff like that in the last segment, but it's like jogging my memory about this other archetype. It's like there is the type that's more of a go along to get along, technically is a leftist in college, actually looks pretty, gets married, has kids, and changes her mind. And that's probably more of what these girls going out to Los Angeles to try to get famous are in that category.
Yeah, I think they might even be hotter than the conservative women.
I agree, because you have to have like a good tasteful amount of wanting people to not
be happy.
Yeah, in order to be
wanting to be nice to people.
Just wanting to be thought of as beautiful, stuff like that. I think that's like part of the psychology of it. I agree.
It just chicks like that just spell yummy to me.
Because there's often these like MAGA, like the ones that look like Jeff Bezos' wife. Like, no, that's not.
Some of it could be. I think some of it could just be I hate my dadism kind of coming off of like teenagerhood too, as like a college girl.
Just to go leftist.
Yeah, to go like more leftist and be just
just simply going to college and getting indoctrinated.
That too.
Yeah, it says that Hollywood seems to have soured on actress Sydney Sweeney following her refusal to address the backlash surrounding her American Eagle jeans commercial and speculation about MAGA connections.
Well, that's because I wouldn't address it either because it's stupid. Well, what do they want her to address exactly? The fact that she did.
I also think it's stupid.
Very sexy jean commercial.
Just minus her face,
amazing. I mean,
she looks like she has a genetic disorder. I don't think
she looks like she's from Idaho.
That's probably the case.
I love it. Every part of her body is over-sexualized, and I'm just down. I'm down for it.
Over-sexualized Down syndrome eyes, I guess. It's a weird term.
But maybe I'm into that.
Maybe you are. I honestly have had this theory for a while.
What do you think about these? Have you heard about the Down syndrome, the hot Down syndrome girls?
Like AI, yes, I was about to say I've had this theory.
I've heard about that. I think it's ridiculous.
I also think she's part of it. I genuinely do. I think that they were like, let's make one of our clones look like this, like give her the mosaic Down syndrome, probably has it. If she has kids, we'll find out, because she'll have a 1 in 4% chance of having a kid with Down syndrome, like the real Down syndrome that's like you think of, if she has mosaic Down syndrome. And they have a few of the features without having any mental problem. You don't know that.
Some of these,
just look at your eyeballs.
I've seen some of these fake girls on YouTube or on TikTok, and they're like, and they're really hot, but they have the down filter, and they're like,
Yeah.
it's just like, I may be down, but my butt is up.
Exactly.
Oh, man.
I fell for these when they first started happening because it wasn't quite even AI times. It was just simply filters, like you say.
Yeah.
I was like, there's no way this is real. What? Like, where are her parents?
Well, and some of them have been running OnlyFans where they
Yep.
put the Downs AI filter while they shoot porn, which is
And
just
that's sickening.
crazy.
That's like, honestly, if it's like, if you have a fetish for that, don't you basically, isn't that basically rape? Because it's like, unless you're also Down syndrome, I guess, but how big could that market be? Clearly, this isn't just.
Why would it be well, what?
Because if
Down
she can't
syndrome-
comprehend
girls
what's
with
going
Down
on.
Syndrome don't have. Do girls with Down syndrome not have the right to experience sex? I mean, come on.
It's not about the right. It's like, can they possibly, and maybe I am just wrong about how bad it gets. I've known one Down syndrome person in my high school, and there's like no way that wouldn't be rape from like a able-minded woman.
I think if a guy like me has sex with a hot Down syndrome girl, it's consensual. But if a Down syndrome guy has sex with a Down syndrome girl, it's rape. That's what I
That
think.
doesn't even make sense. They'd be more on the same level. Oh my god, come on now.
Well, I've heard about Down syndrome couples getting married.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. It makes more sense. They're on the same level, and they're. I actually, now that I think of it, there are
Well,
definitely
if
levels
the
to
Down
it.
syndrome girl, if the Down syndrome girl is ugly, then it's fine. But if she's hot, then her Down syndrome husband should be thrown in jail.
Oh,
What
because,
is wrong with you?
Ted's just being ridiculous. He's just being
Why do you
ridiculous.
believe that, man?
He
I'm
doesn't.
just being the biggest troll.
He's
Okay.
he's just messing around. Yeah, I could
All
tell he
right,
wasn't
all right.
serious.
I mean, I hope that what I'm saying doesn't just sound like eugenics or something. I'm not saying like no one should love them if they're actually capable of it. But if they're like the guy that went to my high school, it's genuinely like he should be
some
off
of them,
limits.
some of them aren't bad. Some of them, they're making grilled cheese at night.
What's that
There's
supposed to
this-
mean?
And I bet he'd.
There's this couple. There's this two sisters on Instagram. One's like a fitness influencer, and then her little sister has Down syndrome, and they both have like perfect bodies, and they're both.
Okay, turds, that's all you have to say about this.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I'm sorry, I'm a little sick today, and so it's hard to talk. But my bathroom's getting remodeled right now. I'm in like a week or two. I'm gonna have like the coolest bathroom in the state of Pennsylvania, way cooler than Cucky from the Commonwealth or whatever the hell his name is. He's gonna be so jealous of my bathroom, dude.
Do you really
He's gonna be
think
so
he is
mad.
going to be jealous of your bathroom? How do you know? You don't know what his
Well-
bathroom looks like.
Not as cool as mine. I know that because nobody's bathroom is gonna be as cool as mine.
Are you gonna get one of those like futuristic Japanese toilets?
Well, I already picked out the toilet. It's a one piece, which is badass. It looks kind of retro, but kind of
have to Google
contemporary. But it goes nicely with the rest of the bathroom. Then with the shower, I got the white on black subway tile, white tile, white. It's acrylic, but it looks like subway tile.
Is it
It's got
still
the field
teal?
tile.
I remember you were working on your bathroom before, and it was like teal.
What? It was teal, huh?
No, teal with a T, the color.
Oh yeah, well, the way I'm doing it now is like the rest of it's black and white, and then I've got like the seafoam green walls. It's gonna pop right out with the rest of the bathroom. Like,
This is
almost
so
like a
crazy,
backsplash.
turd. I googled one piece toilet because I just wanted to know what you meant by that, and I see it now. I see what you mean. And this one right here is a very weird looking like egg shaped toilet, and it's Toto, the brand of bidets that we
Well,
have.
yeah, it doesn't. I know what you're talking. It's
But
not
what's
like that.
weird
It's,
is it says Toto toilet Neo Rest one piece, and it says the store selling it is Ferguson Home, like Turd Ferguson.
Yeah, well, the bathroom model I work for that I sell bathrooms for, they order all their stuff from Ferguson. They're just a common bath remodeler dealer that they
This
they buy in
one is
bulk
really
and then
cool from Casa Inc. Oh, Casa Inc. That makes more sense.
Casa.
Yeah, Casa Inc. It's literally like an egg shape, but I can't see any other details about it to tell you what brand it is or anything. But okay, I really like that. These are pretty cool.
Mine's from American Standard. It's an American Standard one piece. It doesn't get much better than that, dude. I mean, I literally am going, and the flooring I picked out, it's just chef's kiss. It's not quite black, but it's got a lot of black in it, and then like there's like kind of like some rustic sort of wood looking like different shades in it. It's gonna go with the black on white Otello subway tile looks so nicely. I mean, it's just going to be so nicely contract. I mean, I really am going to have the most badass bathroom in the state of Pennsylvania. I mean, it's going to be amazing. And yeah, I got the floating corner seat in the shower. Oh my God, it's so awesome.
I honestly never really wanted to sit in the shower, but maybe if I had the option, I would, to like shave my legs. I've just never thought I wanted to.
Speaking of that, because of all the sexy young teen pop stars that I'll be having to record, I also got the shave bar because I know that they're going to want to be able to put their leg up on the shave bar to shave their legs because I like them hairless.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Okay, Turd. Anything else for us tonight? I guess not. I wouldn't be surprised if Sydney Sweeney's business fails because people just don't like her right now. It's like, it'd honestly be like embarrassing. It's like my tattoo that I'm getting removed. One time I showed it to my friend who's like a hip, cute, sweet gay guy in San Antonio. I was like, okay, I have a tattoo I don't even really like. You want to see it? I showed it to him and he's like bust out laughing and said, "That's so Republican." And I was like, no, like that was the worst thing he could have possibly said. And I feel like if you're like, I got something today, I'm so excited. What is it? It's Sydney Sweeney's new brand of lingerie. It's like, OMG, girl, that's so Republican. I would feel the same way. It'd be embarrassing.
Oh, man.
That's how I
unless it's a bunch of MAGA frat girls.
Maybe.
And I mean, they have dad's money, and I could see them, you know, like this idea of a parallel economy. Don't give these people your money. Who do we give our money to now?
I just have a feeling that it's not going to make like more money than Skims. Skims is Kim Kardashian. It's like you can be a MAGA or a leftist, and you can buy from Kim Kardashian. So it probably isn't going to do that well. Just gotta say.
Well, it'll do enough to make her money. I mean, is it going to overtake Skims? Maybe that's not the point.
Yeah.
Maybe the point is to sell the product for more than they made it for. And if they can get enough people to do that, then good job.
I don't know. I don't think she can. Let's see. But from the Tennessean, we just heard about this from a friend in the studio here tonight. YouTuber Whistling Diesel charged with tax evasion in Tennessee over Ferrari registered in Montana. And there's nothing illegal about this. It's insane. They should definitely, he should definitely win in court. I hope he does. I hope.
Well, it sounds like, I bet the cops are just, I mean, Tennessee's one of those states where the cops will just, like hound you on purpose. I guess target you. Targeting is what I'm saying.
Like, I think every state is that state. If they have a reason to go after you.
Well, I don't know if some states I think are better than others for like where the cops can get away with like planned targeted harassment of an individual.
Oh yeah, remember the guy who was killed by, he was like just doing UPS driving. He was a black guy in Memphis, and it turned out these cops, they just got out of their car and went and killed him, were part of a gang inside the police office called like the Scorpions.
Yeah, they had the same thing they found out in LA, the LA police department, like the Rodney King riots. They had a gang within the LAPD.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not
was
surprised.
Yeah.
Beating people, like murdering people and hiding and running drugs. And
yeah, so maybe Tennessee is more
of a good old boys club.
Known for this kind of behavior. But I just feel like, I mean, you've grabbed rights other people aren't allowed to have. You're probably doing it like in every state, in my opinion. But it says YouTuber Whistling Diesel, known for chaotic videos in which he purchases high-dollar vehicles and tests their reliability or destroys them, is facing tax evasion charges in Williamson County, court records show. Cody Detweiler, the 27-year-old behind the account, wow, he's 27, was arrested and booked into the Williamson County Jail at 12:30 p.m. November 12th, said Anna Nangle, Williamson County Sheriff's Office accreditation specialist. He was released on a $20,000 bond at 3:06 p.m., Nangle said. A November 5th indictment accuses Detweiler of evading state taxes on his 2020 Ferrari F8 Tributo, which Detweiler said in an Instagram story he registered in Montana. Montana does not collect sales tax on vehicles. It doesn't matter. You're supposed to respect the other state's laws. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're not allowed to say, like, we don't like that state does that, so you're committing tax evasion. That's not the case. People are allowed to have a vehicle and go to another state. It's ridiculous. So anyways, Tennessee, on the other hand, it exacts a 7% sales tax, and the local sales tax in Williamson County is an additional 2.75%. Detweiler estimated in an Instagram story the charge stems from possibly $30,000 in sales tax, so they just want their money.
Pretty much. So the governments
Please take
do.
them to court. Please don't give them their money.
Yes.
Detweiler destroyed the sports car as fodder. By the way, important if Detweiler hears this from us. People in New Hampshire, including myself, register their cars in Montana, and we don't have to continue doing the inspection scam and the other stickers they want you to have here in New Hampshire. Don't have to renew our licenses. They're permanent. You can get a permanent license in Montana, and we don't have any problems. They're not going after us for it, and, it's totally legal. And I won a parking ticket case in a roundabout way because of my Montana plate. Detweiler destroyed the sports car as fodder for a series of videos, including one titled, "I bought a $400,000 Ferrari just to destroy it." One so big they thought I was cheating.
Oh, man.
It's ridiculous. Detweiler wrote in a caption to an Instagram post with photos of his mugshot, footage from his arrest, and booking information. That's hilarious. In another post, Detweiler wrote, "I have always paid all of my taxes, and I'm still not sure what this is all for. I didn't get a notice of any sort leading up to this." That's exactly what happened to Ian, and he got federal tax charges, but still. "There is a court date set, and I will give active updates." Detweiler's arraignment is scheduled for November 19th at the Williamson County Courthouse in Franklin. Oh, okay, I wondered where he was. That's where Miley Cyrus is from. Franklin, Tennessee. In a video November 16th, Detweiler said he planned to take his killdozer to court. Wow. I had just heard this. That apparently he has a reenactment. That's not the word I'm looking for, but he rebuilt the killdozer. Famously, I think it's June 5th. A man named... Wait, isn't his name really similar? What's the guy's name?
Niemeyer?
Niemeyer. Okay, I was
Marvin Heemeyer.
Yep.
Yeah, there we go. It's kind of like, I guess it's not like Detweiler at all, but felt like it for a second. But Marvin Heemeyer was in it Nevada?
Colorado, I think.
Colorado. And he had a bunch of problems with his city or town government, and he built this killdozer to go bulldoze part of their building down, and he killed himself inside it. In a way, it's based in a way I don't think people should reenact it in the same way. Oh, well, it's not that I'm saying this man, Detweiler, shouldn't be reenacting. It's just simply, I don't think that the answer to bad government is to go kill what if a random person not involved is in that town hall or whatever it was he tried to destroy. I don't know. I think he didn't do everything in the correct way. And then just kill yourself inside. Come on now. Anyways, in a video on November 16th, Detweiler said he planned to take his killdozer to court. On the 20th anniversary of Marvin Heemeyer's destructive rampage through Granby, Colorado, Detweiler constructed a recreation of the modified bulldozer Heemeyer used to destroy Granby's town hall and other buildings. Oh, I thought it was just the one. Detweiler asked for people to help escort the bulldozer to court. It is not uncommon to spot a sports car with a Montana license plate. Car and Driver, the automotive magazine, published an article in April on the Montana LLC loophole. Out-of-state residents are able to set up limited liability corporations at little cost to register their cars under, avoiding paying any sales tax, the magazine reported. The indictment names both Detweiler and his company Whistling Diesel LLC. That's pretty funny. That's what he named his LLC.
Well, that's the YouTube company. I mean, the YouTube channel name.
Oh, they probably do get LLCs once they get big enough.
Yeah.
Some states are taking measures to avoid missing out on the lost sales taxes. You can't do that. You can't just not respect another state's law like that. Like, there's a rule, like continuity or something like that. I'm not remembering exactly what they call it, which has to do with the reason why you can't just, if you go into another state with say you have a New Hampshire driver's license plate and you go into another state, they can't just be like, you're in jail till you get a R license plate. The rule is called like continuity or something like that.
California tried to send me a letter. Oh, well, sent a letter to my dead grandpa's house.
Well,
but,
because you moved there, it's like...
No, I wasn't living there.
Well, then maybe they thought you did.
Yeah, they thought I did, and they were trying to send me a letter saying that if I lived or worked in California, that I was supposed to, like, register my car, and I called the state police and said, suck it.
Yeah,
I'm not registering my car in California.
That's different. My point was more like if you just were driving through and they tried to say, nope, you have to have our license to be here. Like, no.
Oh, that's what they're doing in to Arizona cars. I've seen a lot of videos of cops in LA.
Just
like
copying, just like targeting them, you mean?
Well, no, pulling them over and being like, this isn't road legal. We're taking it off the street. You can't have that in California.
Just for the license plate not being from California?
No, for like technically, like they don't meet California emissions. But even though it's an Arizona plate, and the guy's like, dude, I'm allowed to visit California for up to 7 days, I think it is.
I hope they lose
and
that
I don't have
too.
to do anything. But the guy lives 30 minutes away, so he just goes in and out.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, you know what I mean? So they've been arresting him.
Anyway,
yeah, they've been pulling him over a ton.
Court. Hopefully he takes it all the way to court and, makes it
I think
precedent.
people should take it to court. That way the government is held to be accountable.
And it says this year, Utah passed a law launching an enforcement program using data sharing and plate readers to identify cars registered in Montana but insured in Utah.
Oh my God.
Uh-oh, that's not good.
No.
That's really not
That's Utah
okay.
starting beef. Well, I guess they have a Wyoming to buffer.
Oh, yeah.
I was thinking, like, you're
With a
going to start
neighbor.
beef with a neighbor state like that heavily. I don't, well, neither of you guys have like really big economies. I don't think that's very smart.
I don't know. I think Utah's probably bigger with their church and everything.
Yeah, but the amount of like cattle movement and stuff between all those western states, that's so much trucking.
More Free Talk Live coming up, right?
No, I think we're done.
No, it's the end of the show. Sorry about that. More Free Talk Live at freetalklive.com. And thanks for listening. Peace.
This hour of Free Talk Live is brought to you by Dash Digital Cash. Dash is the cryptocurrency designed to be used for spending. In addition to being one of the world's first cryptocurrencies, Dash was the first crypto project to have a decentralized autonomous organization that to this day continues to improve and promote Dash. Every month, 10% of the